Gold shatters $3,300 an ounce. SB 33 shakes Texas and Disneyland's Club 33. Opening up, the EPA talks slashing chemtrails. Are we entering the Doge-fueled golden age? RFK Jr. stuns with bold autism study announcement. Watch the press room reaction. Private policing protector app is raising eyebrows, and even Fox looks a little nervous. Katy Perry's spacesuit sparks satanic ritual claims. Did Blue Origin just cross a line? The WHO simulates Arctic mammoth pox outbreak. Simulation or chilling rehearsal? This is Canary Cry News Talk, and the show starts now.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is April 16th, 2025. We are live to tape on episode 833. And today, 33 and me. Signing on from Off the Grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil. And you are not crazy.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to forget to say that I wasn't crazy, because otherwise I'd feel crazy. My name is Gonz, director of the Age of Deceit films, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape in the metaverse to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events and today's emergent phenomenon. It's all 33 all the way down, baby.
Yeah.
33 above, 33 below, as above, so below.
They just can't help themselves, Gonz. They just can't help but use their favorite number to let everybody know that the plan, well, is going according to plan.
Or not. It's a distress signal or a signal of success.
It's a good point. We actually have no idea, and anybody claims to know exactly what the number means. I don't know. Perhaps they're lying. Perhaps they just don't know, and they want you to think that they know. Perhaps I don't know. But I do know for us, episode 833 just happened to be the next numerical number that we made it to. So that's very fun, very exciting.
Yep.
Goodness gracious, Gonz, I'm glad you're back on the show. We, despite all of our best efforts, went a little long last episode, and, we missed you very much there at the last 10, 15 minutes.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I had a hard cutout, and, when there's a cutout and I can't stop the Basil train, I just have to jump off. I take a leap of faith outside, yeah.
When you're together as long as we have been, Gonz, you find ways to make it through the hard times. And, sometimes you just let your co-host just do what they have to do, and it's no big deal. But we're back to the news here, folks. Things have continued to progress. As I put into the newsletter announcing this episode, if you're not on the newsletter, you should get on the newsletter, okay? Go to canarycry.party. Up at the top, you'll see a button. Get on the newsletter. Very important to do that for so many reasons. I mean, of course, you get a bunch of special stuff. I write a little fun little thing for you a couple times a week just to let you know that we're getting started. But there's also very important announcements, meetups, things like that. Go jump on the mailing list. But as I mentioned in the mailing list today, and as we're sort of discovering for ourselves, Gonz, it's a different game. It's not 2012 anymore. It's a different game. It's not even 2020 anymore. It's a different game.
Yeah.
Curation. There has to be some, there's two ways that it can go. If you're on the advertising model and you are battling for eyeballs, you got to be first to tell the story. But here on the value for value model, we get the luxury of not to fight for first for the story, but to fight for first to be right about a story, being able to let it simmer, watch things play out, not jumping on the first rumors. And so we hope you appreciate that as much as we do, because I think we discovered, Gonz, long ago, that we don't have the talent, maybe, that other podcasters have. And that talent being, not coming out and admitting you were wrong about every week, about every story that we were rushed to get to air. It just doesn't sound like a fun way to spend our time.
Is that what people do when they're the people that jump on a story real quick and they get it out there as fast as possible? Are they retracting?
No, it's a special talent to not feel like you have to come out.
I see. Sure,
we have this thing inside of us that like forces us to reckon with the idea that to rush a story onto the air, to jump on the hype train, to spread perhaps false rumors or false information, that keeps us up at night, Guns, and we simply can't do it. So that's why we wait. There's a few things today that we're very glad that we waited on. But I do got to say, Guns, I need to admit something. And I've been keeping this. I didn't mean to keep it a secret. I meant to come out and talk about this 2 weeks ago. Okay. Yeah. I've been holding this secret deep in my heart for 2 weeks. And I just feel like it's the right thing, that I just need to get it out. I need to get it out there. And then we just need to move on and people can do with it what they will. Okay. Is this a safe space for me to do that? Okay.
Course.
Well, this last weekend,
nobody else.
It's just you and me, baby. It's just you and me. This last weekend, I actually took my second mixed martial arts class.
Ooh.
Yes, it's finally happened. I'm descending into the void that is MMA class.
Well,
so especially this week, one thing I hadn't considered, there's a lot of great things about it, having fun. I don't know. There's not so much instruction going on right now as much as just like show up and look around and try to do what everybody else is doing and not look like an idiot. And especially being in a class with people who have been doing it for a year, it's very difficult to not look like an idiot, but I'm using it as an opportunity for character building and humility fostering. But one thing I didn't think about ahead of time was just how many times that you get fully choked out per lesson. I thought this is something maybe you build up to this, but it's just like day one, they throw you right in there, you start getting choked out. Some sparring partners maybe a little bit more considerate than others, but I've noticed this past couple weeks, I don't have a tickle in my throat. What I have is some sort of swelling from trauma from getting choked out multiple times a week. So if you hear me doing a little cough, like clearing my throat, that's just me trying to breathe past, I don't know, some sort of inflammation or whatever. But I hear I'll get used to it, and that'll be great. I will say, after now taking 2 classes of sort of simulated, not so simulated fights, I'm really glad that my first serious fight is not out in the wild, because you pretty immediately realize, every guy likes to think that he can hold himself in a fight if one showed up, but not if the other guy has been taking MMA lessons. There's nothing you can do.
A common man does not stand a chance against people who actually know what they're doing.
Even just the minor amount of training if your opponent has it and you don't, you're just done. So anyways, I'm working on it. There you go. I just had to admit it. I couldn't keep it a secret any longer. It just didn't feel right.
Well, this is going to be
to not share that. With my
this
family.
is fine. You're following the path that was created by, I don't know, all the other famous people right now doing all the MMA stuff. So
yeah, it's the roadmap to success.
To success. We will, we'll do a fight. We'll schedule a fight. Who's on the list here? We got.
Yeah, I could always take which Paul brother is it? Is it Jake Paul? Take the Jake Paul route.
He's boxing though, specifically, isn't he not? Or is he doing more?
Yeah, he did the boxing with Mike Tyson. I think he's also doing a little MMA. I have no idea. Anything I say has no value. So
I say Tim Pool. I think you can take out Tim Pool. That'd be a good one.
I have heard that lots of people would like to fight Tim Pool. I'm sure that he has lots of offers swirling around.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. All right, Gons. Well, we should probably jump into the news here in a second. But before that, of course, we are on the value for value model, which means we want to thank our executive producers here at the top of the show.
Let's do it.
Executive producers.
That's right, folks. Executive producers. We're on the value for value model, which means we take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels, no advertising, no selling your soul for our own personal gain. Instead, it's a very simple system, value for value. We create as much value as we possibly can. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we don't succeed, but it is our goal. And the understanding with all the Canarians around the world is that we will not exist if not for the participation of our producers. And the producers are people who say, yeah, I get value from this. I've gotten value from this. I plan on getting more value from this. So I'm going to put value back in. And that can come in the form of your time, your talent, or your treasure. Everybody's got a different way to put value back into the system. But our executive producers, they come in financially for $100 or more for any individual episode, which is why we thank them here at the top of the show. If you want to learn all about it, you can go to canarycry.support.
I was looking up something.
That's okay.
It is very interesting.
Bum, bum.
I will. I'll share it once we're done thanking some executive producers here. But yeah,
okay, great.
This is just coming across my desk right now, and it's breaking right now. Everyone's talking.
Is
about
it news? Is it news right now?
It kind of is. I mean, it's not like news, but it is strange. It is. It's right up our alley, I would say. So,
well, stick around, folks. We're going to thank our execs and get into Gon's weird and wacky news breaking live. Well, I want to start out with, of course, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Sir LX Protocol, V2 Baron of the Berean Protocol.
Where'd you find this?
Bankroll out the bankroll, I spent.
Baron.
By the way, we had a very short list of producers at the time we started this episode. And just as we speak here, there are people coming in. So I'm going to try to do it as live as possible. But Sir LX Protocol comes in for $100 and 33 cents.
On 833.
On 833, he is on a 384 episode streak in total and a 37 episode executive producer streak. Incredible.
Amazing.
We also had an amazing executive producer come in. As of last month, a newly minted Knight of the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames. He insta-knighted last month, and he's back with an executive producership. That is Sir Dustin the Talented.
Hey.
Where'd you find this?
Bankroll out the bankroll, I spent.
Thank you very much,
Whee!
Sir Dustin.
Now, I had to go back and remind myself here, because Sir Dustin, he insta-knighted last month, and he came in, he sent a message basically saying he's been listening for 10 years, and you helped me become just that 1% better. God bless you so much. So much, guys. Well, thank you very much, Sir Dustin. And he had made a commitment to executive produce on a monthly basis. I had totally forgotten about that until this time, and he did it. He came in. So good job on, he set a goal for himself. He considers producing the show a way for him to better use his resources and his time and his talent. And I just want to give him a big shout out for following through with something like that. Of course, on a level that helps the show, helps you and I, helps the rest of the producers. But, following through with these sort of commitments on a regular basis also builds all sorts of wonderful qualities in a person. So big shout out to you, Sir Dustin the Talented. Came in with a very generous executive producership, a nice round number, which is a great time to remind anybody considering producing the show. If you come in with a nice round number, that's you saying, I'd prefer we don't disclose the amount on the air. And we always sort of lean towards anonymity in every opportunity we get. But if you don't mind us disclosing the amount on the air, you put something like Sir Alex Protocol. He puts 33 cents at the end, 77 cents, 1, 2, 3, 4. Have some fun with that number. That's you telling us that you don't mind us disclosing it. So thank you very much one last time, executive producer Sir Dustin the Talented.
Thank you very much, Sir Dustin. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
And
very, very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Now, we did just now get an executive producership. Just wanting to double, triple check this note to make sure that it is to be disclosed. Yes, I think so. Okay. Well, we got another executive producership just coming in right in the nick of time. This is coming from executive producer Julie G.
Where'd you find this?
Bankroll out the bankroll I spend.
Julie G, thank you.
And especially to be known as Jules. Thank you,
Jules.
executive producer
Okay,
Jules.
Jules.
That's my bad. And executive producer Jules comes in with a whopping $777 executive producership.
Oh my goodness.
Incredible.
Shoo, hallelujah.
Thank you
And
very
Jules-
much.
Jules comes in and says, hey guys, I sent over a producership using the Stripe option. You guys have it. It didn't give me an option to leave a note. You did the right thing, Jules. Email us if you don't get the opportunity to leave a note, folks. I personally needed to take a step away from actually listening to news talk in order to focus more deeply on my walk with Yeshua. But still, I fully support what you guys are doing and want to make sure you guys can keep at it. God bless you both, smiley face. Well, executive producer Jules, thank you so much. And again, fully encourage anybody for their own sanity or spiritual health. If they need to step away from the news, they need to step away from this show, whatever, fully encourage that. And in this case, to have executive producer Jules have to step away, spend some time focusing on Jesus, but also executive produce the show at the same time is really incredible. It gives me the warm and fuzzies. Executive producer Jules, thank you so much.
Thank you, producer Jules. It's amazing. Appreciate you. And yeah, I mean, I think people need breaks from this type of worldly news, and yeah, to refocus on Jesus.
Fully encouraged. Fully encouraged.
Yeah.
Yes,
Not something we discourage here.
As I've been saying this whole year, as things get wilder and wilder, and we have no idea what the future looks like in a year from now, spiritual prepping, your walk, the state of affairs inside your spirit, your relationship with God is the absolute number one, hands down important thing that you can focus on, and you got to do whatever it takes to do that. So big props to executive producer Jules. All right, one last executive producer coming in. Wow, This show started as kind of a sad day, and since then has become incredible. So we have executive producer coming in for her second executive producership in a row. So we've got an executive producer streak here for executive producer Chelsea S.
Where'd you find this?
Bankroll out the bankroll I spend.
Chelsea S, thank you.
Chelsea S coming in with $111.
Ooh, that's an 11.
111.
And she's on an executive streak? Is that
Executive
right?
streak.
Wow. Is she the first lady to have
Incredible.
an executive streak?
That's a great question. I don't
know
have
that
that.
she is, but
I don't have that data. I do not recall an executive streak before. We'd have to go to the books. Of course, we've got our scribe, our archivist, our wizard who might be able to go
Our
in
AI.
and check our AI and check the data on that. But certainly is the first woman executive producer streaker in a long while, if not the first ever. So I have a feeling Dame Sarah has been on a streak before.
Yeah, I think there's some other lady producers that have done
I'm sure.
done
But
it.
Chelsea S, certainly at the top of that list. Thank you very much, executive producer Chelsea S.
Thank you,
I did
Chelsea
not
S.
see a note come in yet, but if one comes in or I missed it, please let me know. We'll read it on the show for you.
All right.
Okie dokie. Wow, that is great. Thank you so much to all of our executive producers. Again, we have the most incredible listeners and we have the most incredible producers. We don't even really like thinking of all of you, any of you, as listeners or audience or anything, because the show only exists because of the producers of the show who understand this sort of spiritual rebellion against the sort of beast system, mammon worshipping, advertising global theology, which I promise I won't go into here. But we really do see it as not only sort of an incredible rebellion against that system that forces you to work within the parameters that corporations sort of build for people like us, but also an incredible opportunity to participate in whatever God is doing. And we believe that what's going on here is aligned with God's mission for our lives in the show. And if you believe that as well, it's very, very impressive when people get involved with it. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate all of you.
So there you go. There's the executive producers. We'll thank any other producers later on in the show. We have one last announcement, Gons.
Okay.
And this is regarding the other Sir Dustin. I believe it was the other Sir Dustin. Maybe I should pull up. Do you have the round table pulled up?
Let's see. No, I do not. But I can get it pulled up real quick.
Why don't you pull it up real quick? Because I want to make sure that...
Okay, I'm scrolling.
Yes.
I'm scrolling. Oh, we got to do... we're looking for Dustin.
The
So there's
most
Sir Dustin
recent-
the Talented.
I think it was Torstein. I believe it was Torstein.
Torstein.
Yes.
Sir
Torstein.
Yes.
He came in with a double Insta-Nightership. Man, I
Right.
hope I have this right. I will be very sad if I don't have this right, but I believe that is
I think
true.
you're right. I remember Sir Torstein
Yes.
offering
And
a knighthood to somebody else.
we threw it out there. He came in with a knighthood to be applied to some other producer. We put the shout out to everybody to however you can do it. Email us, text us, nominate a producer who is not yet knighted, who you believe should receive this knighting from. Yes, it was formerly Warrior of Yah, but now
Yes.
Sir Torstein. And you did. Boy, oh boy, you did. We got text messages flying in. We got emails flying in. And we didn't know exactly how we were going to do this. One thing, we don't necessarily want to do is like pit producers against each other in one way or another.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of really, really good nominations that came in. However, there was one producer in particular who got just an unending tidal wave of nominations, and not only nominations, but lots of people sending in their reasoning, other people like doing the accounting of this particular producer, like naming the things that they've done over the years, they're all the different ways they participate. Truly a locked in member of the community who just happens to have not been knighted yet. And of course, for those who don't know, to be a member of the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames, it's simply a matter of producing the show with $1,000 or more over time or all at once, however you want to do it. However, yes, this one particular producer, it became abundantly clear that this was the one the community had chosen. And I would like to announce that here and now. I have not reached out and told this person ahead of time, and we're going to need to get a knight name from them. So we'll do this here, and then hopefully we hear back from them by Monday, and they will be, knighted on the show. But enough stalling.
Who is it? Tell me. The anticipation is just melting me.
The broad nomination to this particular producer. I don't know. I can't find other eloquent words to say it. But the individual is producer Psalm 40.
Hey. Psalm 40 shall be knighted.
That's right. You deserve it, buddy. I mean, Psalm 40 for many, many years has been producing in all sorts of different ways. And the community has spoken. So Psalm 40, congratulations. We'll get a knight name from you, and you will be knighted on Monday.
Hey, there he is right there in the chat.
There he is.
Says, I'm
there
honored.
he is. He's in there. He's always in.
Yeah.
He's so consistent with producing, consistent with calling in on the call-in shows. He's always in the chat. He's, produced in every which way with art, time, talent, or treasure over the years. So thank you very much, Psalm 40.
Yep, we appreciate you.
Okay, with that, sorry for that little extended period there, folks, but very exciting for the community. If you want to learn more, go to canarycry.support.
That is what to do.
Canarycry.support.
So,
okay,
the thing I was looking at, it's relevant to a lot of this, but let me just jump into that and then we'll cover some 33 stories.
We will launch a new age.
This is getting shared around everywhere. Basil, the White House published an article titled Remarks by Director Kratsios at the Endless Frontiers Retreat.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, the golden age of American innovation. And
Oh,
if you've been around, I've ranted on and on about certain speeches made by certain individuals. One particular that really caught my attention over the last 10 years was from Douglas MacArthur at the graduation ceremony at West Point. In 1962, he talked about, we're going to control the weather. And, I can't remember all the things, but it was like all this crazy stuff that he was talking about, futuristic sounding things. And so I relate that type of speech to what we're seeing here from Director Kratsios, because he's talking about the golden age of American innovation.
Okay.
And in this speech, the thing that everybody is pointing out is the part right here where it says, you got to scroll down a little bit, we're capable of so much more. It talks about all the innovation that's been stalled since the 70s, of all the bureaucracy and everything, the technological this reads like a technocrat letter, by the way. Mm-hmm. But so the regulations and, it's just, it has not worked out. But we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space.
Oh, great.
They leave
wonderful.
They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow, and improve productivity. Now,
by the way, sorry to interrupt, but this is on the White House website.
Yes,
right?
I'm reading from whitehouse.gov.
Directly from the White House website.
White House website.
They made a time machine. Is that what we're being told?
Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. Now, is he being tongue-in-cheek, or is he saying we have technologies that manipulate time and space? I don't know, but people are freaking out about it. And so there you go. Whether in AI, quantum, biotech, or next-generation semiconductors, in partnership with the private sector, public-private partnerships, and academia, it is the duty of government to enable scientists to create new theories and empower engineers to put them into practice. It's the duty of government, by the way. Prizes, advanced market commitments, and other novel funding mechanisms like fast and flexible grants can multiply the impact of government-funded research. So it's all about, more hanky-panky between the government and private corporations. But somebody's got a time machine, apparently. Someone has made the technology to manipulate time and space. And, it's just that's why we're having this situation, the tariffs, all that stuff. It's Xi or Trump is going to access this. But I don't see a whole lot of books written, 150 years ago about Xi from China. So maybe there's something circulating in China that's like, the equivalent of The Last President or, Baron Trump's Adventures into Inner Earth or whatever that book is called. So anyway, just a little fun thing that people are freaking out about right now, the manipulate time and space.
Politically very interesting too, because of course Doge and Trump and Elon are getting a bunch of guff for cutting scientific research.
Yes,
the specific researches, I don't know, I don't have a list, but people are like, oh, cancer research is gone, this is gone, this is gone, and so politically sending out this message of like, hey, don't worry, we still have time travel machines, or we're putting the research towards free energy or whatever.
Right.
This is,
right.
I mean, it's a little bit part of the UFO disclosure stuff too, like manipulating time and space. That's full on UFO disclosure.
It is. And, we are in this interesting time of, I'll say revelation not the book of Revelation per se, although, of course, there's overlap. There was another document that I found, a CIA declassified document. Some people may know about it, but it's a letter. It's a FOIA request that was denied this was approved for release in December of 2023 by the Central Intelligence Agency, dated February 13th, 2019. And they basically say, they received the request for this FOIA request. Specifically, your request is for records pertaining to giants or Nephilim. Your request was assigned to the reference number above. Please use this number, blah, blah, blah. And it says here, the FOIA, FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act, provides for access to agency records. The records you requested do not constitute agency records subject to the FOIA. Therefore, we must decline to process this request. Now, normally, if there's no documents on something, they'll say there are no records of the topics you requested. But that's not what they say. They say the records you asked for they're not considered agency records. That's subject to Freedom of Information Act. Therefore, we must reject it, which means or suggests or implies that there are documents, government documents pertaining to giants or Nephilim that just, not under the CIA, not subject to the Freedom of Information Act. So,
which
fun
is
little nuggets.
Which is in line about what we know with UFO recovery programs. Specifically, whistleblowers have, said for many years, this is well known, but has been confirmed lately with a lot of not only current and former government workers, but it's pretty known now. This is an accepted piece of the disclosure that the government doesn't actually do the recovery when something is heard, when there's something to be recovered or there's some sort of whatever government involvement, they use private companies. They use Lockheed Martin or they use, someone else.
Somebody that has a time machine, apparently, according to the White House, these private companies.
Yeah, keeps as much off, specifically to keep it out of reach of FOIA, to keep it out of reach of FOIA so that, they can keep all their secrets, their dirty little secrets, thanks to corporations. Yeah. Well, that's very fun and interesting.
Yep.
Goodness gracious.
Good times.
Something quick to mention. I thought about bringing it to the show. I didn't bring it to the show yet, but since you mentioned China and Xi and everything going on, it's a new thing online where the manufacturers in China, the actual individual factories, are coming out, and there's dozens and dozens and dozens. This is obviously supported by the CP. This is part of the trade war going on. They're coming out on social media and saying, hi, we're the factory that makes Louis Vuitton bags, or hi, we're the factory that makes iPhones. Hi, we're the factory that makes Nikes. Don't buy from them. We'll just make it for you. We'll just make you the exact bag, the exact thing. I don't know, these Birkin bags, they're like $35,000 a piece. And the factories are like, oh, we make them. Did you know we make them? Did you know everything's made in China? Did you know? Bet you didn't know. So come buy it cheaper. We'll sell it to you for $1,000, which $1,000 is still insane. And I'm just like, you guys really don't understand American consumer habits, do you? You really don't understand it. They think that's, and those on the left too are like, ha, look at that, Trump. China is telling everybody that they make everything and they're going to sell it to us. I'm like, bro, did you not know this? Did you not know that every single thing is made in a factory of China? This is not a surprise to anyone. This is, in fact, if you wanted to, you could go to China and buy these exact things. They're not knockoffs. They're just not officially branded. They'll come from the same factory. And it's like, oh, they got you, Trump. It's the end of the American economy because luxury goods are no longer going to be sold at luxury prices. Well, I don't know if they fully, spiritually comprehend just how broken the American sort of consumer mindset is, because if it didn't cost $35,000, they don't want it. The point is the money. When it comes to luxury goods, it's not about getting it for cheap.
It's not about the money. It's about the status. It's about it's the flex. You walk into a Louis V, you grab a few things. It's the flex. You're showing that you can afford it, and it's not about the price. Yeah.
And for me, and I think for a lot of people, okay, maybe China does destroy the luxury goods market because, I mean, everybody already knows it's made in China, but let's just say that suddenly nobody buys a Louis Vuitton bag again. Oh, no. You mean Trump is exposing the deep wound, the cold, hard grasp of the tentacles of mammon who are infiltrating the spirits of man to think that they need high-priced luxury goods to prove themselves in this broken economy of widening economic insecurity and inequality? Oh, no, please. Hello, thank you. Please destroy the luxury goods market. It's nothing but spiritually healthy for Americans to kind of get away from that mindset. So again, in a similar way that Marina Abramovich says that Donald Trump is a powerful chaos magician who is exposing the problems with everything, I think there's something very similar going on here. Through Trump's trade war, if it fully deconstructs and demolishes the strange satanic obsession with luxury goods, and that doesn't happen anymore, thank God. Hello, that was a sickness that needed to be cured. And with China doing what they're doing, I think this is exactly, we need a little bit of sunlight, a little bit of air on that wound, and I'm totally in support of it. I meant to bring some videos, but I didn't. But you can see, I'm sure everybody's seeing it all over the place. And with that, the demolishing, deconstructing of the spiritual prison of mammon that's been built around our entire economy, it is episode 833, Gons, and 33 is in the news.
It is.
33 is the number of completion of the great work. The first temple of Solomon stood for 33 years. David ruled for 33 years in Jerusalem. The Masonic order divided into 33 symbolic degrees. There are 33 segments in the human spinal column. Jesus was crucified in the 33rd year of his life.
Yep. There's always 33 in the headlines, but there's a few interesting ones. San Francisco Gate, yeah?
Real quick, because there's always someone in the chat who asks, when it comes to 33, what do we know? We know it's some sort of messaging number. The number is very important to different occult schools of thought, including the Masons, Freemasons, very into 33. Kabbalah. And if you pay attention to the news, you'll see 33 pops up a strangely specific amount of times, connected to all sorts of broader, cultural trends and psyops going on. We do not claim to know exactly what 33 means when you see it attached to a story or a trend. I don't believe, a lot of people claim to be able to interpret it directly, but the point being is usually you are seeing 33 attached to a story in a way for a very specific reason that seems to be communicating something to someone. Back to the, Freemasons hiding in plain sight, the communication via popular media, as well as the occult principles of magic, basically, which gives power to something via human attention. So that's why it's very interesting. You start piecing together where 33 shows up in the news, you can get a pretty interesting idea of what's being communicated behind the scenes.
Right. And just like the jingle said, a lot of people consider 33 as an important number spiritually because they call it the age of fulfillment, the age that Jesus, walked and did his ministry and was crucified and rose again. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's this one I didn't know. Noah, the 33rd time the name Noah is mentioned. This is according to some scholars. The number 33 has some covenant significance because it's Genesis 9:17 when God makes a covenant with Noah. So, stuff like that. I'm sure there's lots of little things in there, but there's not anything explicit in the Bible that really points to the precise number 33. You gotta piece it together, like the thing I just mentioned, like the 33rd time Noah's mentioned in Genesis or something like that.
Right.
So, we don't put too much power or significance into it per se. All we do is recognize it. We point it out, and it's been kind of a fun little way to talk about all these things as well. So,
and it always is connected to, some big thing going on.
Yeah. Something always going on. All right. San Francisco Gate, 1 dead, 33 hikers rescued near Lake Mead in Arizona amid extreme heat. So 1 sacrificed for the 33 to be saved.
Ah, yes.
But more specifically, this is Reuters here. Gold zooms past $3,300 an ounce as investors seek shelter from tariff war.
Yay!
I mean, what a great way to signal between one another in the world elite. Gold being the most precious commodity, a store of value, and then the price of gold in dollars going to $3,300. I believe silver it was close to or hit $33 an ounce as well. Which is, it's not surprising, but there you go. We don't have to dig into it too much here. It's just one of these things. The gold is pumping, the tariffs makes sense. 33 in all of that. And then.
And where's our live stream from Fort Knox, Elon?
I know, yeah.
Where'd all the gold go that was being shipped
gold?
Out of London earlier this year?
Yeah.
There's a lot of hullabaloo in the gold market. Some very interesting, omissions about where all the gold actually went.
Yeah, and all the talk about selling gold to buy Bitcoin. I mean, if you're selling, they better do it before the price of gold might go down. Well, actually, we talked about this. Will it go up or will it go down if there's no gold in the vaults?
It very rarely goes down significantly. You mean specifically Fort Knox?
If Fort Knox is empty, then gold would skyrocket, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so that's good
there's
for
unaccounted for, thousands of tons of gold
right.
unaccounted
So
for.
let's expose that and then use the gold, certificates to buy Bitcoin, because there's not going to be enough gold to actually fill those IOUs. So, okay, so there's that. There's also, this is coming from itgov.texas.gov. Yeah, interesting thing here. It's Lieutenant Governor of Texas, Dan Patrick. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick's statement on the passage of Senate Bill 33, stopping taxpayer-funded abortion travel. So there you go. SB 33 in Texas making its way. I think it passed, actually. So, yeah. No more abortion or taxpayer-funded abortion travel.
Well, the travel is the interesting thing. I didn't read too much into it. I don't know how much you looked into it. But, this abortion travel thing is a big sort of lefty trigger point psyop thing where they're convinced that, maybe abortion is banned in one state, but if a woman wants to travel to another state to get an abortion, that she'll be arrested and jailed. I imagine this is a next step in what is being misrepresented by the left here, which is not, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, maybe we can look into it, but that the travel costs that it would take to go out of state can't be refunded by Medicaid or something like that.
I don't remember. I didn't get into the specifics either, but as far as I understand, yes, there's no, you can't, like it says, taxpayer can't fund people who are traveling out of Texas to get an abortion, basically. So if you're a citizen of Texas, you can not accept.
So cities have done everything in their power to skirt state law, including paying for out-of-state travel for abortions on demand outside of Texas.
Right.
This is unacceptable. The Senate's passage of SB 33 draws a line in the sand, prohibiting these cities from using taxpayer dollars to fund abortion-related travel to circumvent the state law. Yeah, I mean, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the act of using taxpayer dollars to fund abortions out of state seems like a pretty, I don't know,
kind of reasonable
thing to do.
I mean, yeah, if you want to, I mean, I don't think anyone should get an abortion, but if people want to do that, then do it on your own dime. Don't rely on government funding for your travel out of state for it.
Yeah, Senate Bill 33 prohibits governmental entities from funding any type of abortion service, including travel or other logistics. SB 33 also allows the Attorney General or Texas residents to bring legal action against any party violating or seeking to violate these provisions. All right.
There you go.
Taxpayer money goes to what the taxpayers want.
Yep. Okay, more 33. I think this is the last one here. This is coming from gmtoday.com. How to join Disneyland's Club 33 waiting list.
Oh,
yeah. Now, I've talked about Club 33 a lot over the years because it's
Do you have to sacrifice a goat? Is there a goat sacrifice involved?
I don't know. Let me ask Joe Biden.
33.
He's just on a loop. It says here, the once secret, it's fun. Let me just read it. The once secret Club 33 that Disneyland bills as private, exclusive, mysterious, magical, legendary, and world class is a secret no longer.
The one that talking about for a decade, 2 decades.
And the Anaheim theme park is actively looking for new members who want to join.
Oh,
maybe I should throw my hat in the ring there and just see if I can get in there.
Yeah, Club 33 is running into some financial troubles, it sounds like.
Disneyland has broken the Fight Club-like cardinal rule of Club 33. Never talk about Club 33 by posting details about the secret restaurant and bar for the first time ever on the theme park's mobile app. It's official because it's on the Disneyland mobile app. Forget all the people who have talked about this for decades, probably, or published it in books or magazines or made videos or whatever. So what is Club 33? It's the Disneyland app details the benefits of Club 33 and directs interested parties to fill out a membership interest form if they would like to join, but don't be surprised if you don't hear back right away. The Club 33 waiting list is list numbers in the hundreds, and it can take more than a decade to receive an invitation. Quote, Club 33 may contact you as membership opportunities become available, according to Disneyland website. Offers of membership are made at Club 33's sole discretion, according to the official Club 33 website. Disneyland's only recently added Club 33 information and new membership application link to the Disneyland mobile app, according to the officials, or Disneyland officials. A Club 33 new membership application link has been available on the website for nearly a year. Okay, tell us more about Club 33. You can fill it out. Club 33 was inspired by the VIP lounge Walt Disney experienced at the 1964 New York World's Fair, where It's a Small World and Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln first debuted. The private Disneyland Club opened in May 1967, a few months after Disney's death in December of 66. Depending on the membership level, a Club 33 membership can cost between $12,500 and $30,000 a year, after an initiation fee that can range from $25,000 to $100,000 a year, according to Business Insider.
The initiation. That's where they get you. That's where you got to read the fine print. The initiation
Yes.
fee.
Let me give this club $100,000 so they can pour goat blood on me and
It's time to
move me,
initiated.
be a part of the club. Tom Hanks, Christina Aguilera, and Elton John, who
Not
all
a great
have
collection.
not a great crew there, who all have professional Disney connections, are reportedly among the celebrity club members, according to Eater. The second-story club takes its numerical name from its New Orleans Square address, 33 Royal Street. Club 33 was famously the only place alcohol was served in Disneyland before Oga's Cantina opened in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in 2019. New Orleans Square neighbor Blue Bayou began serving alcohol in 2020. Okay, so it was the booze center for Disney.
I'm not sure if that's true. I remember booze being available. I mean, I haven't been there since 2019, but all right. Anyways,
well, there you go. Maybe I should apply Anaheim. It's not too far from me, so
you can do some boots on the ground reporting.
Yeah,
how many podcasters do you think are going to be putting in applications and then showing up and just like walking around asking way too many questions?
Maybe they'll ban all podcasters. You can't be a podcaster to get
Probably.
Yeah.
Second-class citizens podcasters.
Citizens. So there you go. There's some 33 updates for you. 33 updates are happening every single day. It's not anything unique or new or anything like that, but we did happen to fall into Club 33 news here, which I thought was interesting enough to bring to the show on episode 833, our centennial 33rd episode.
The timing is impeccable.
Yes. All right, let's move on. We got some things to talk about here.
Geoengineering.
And this is also, we added Doge to the mix here. Doge. Where's Doge?
The greatest capitalist in the history of the United States of America, Elon Musk.
Doge.
We will launch a new age.
All right, so this is a post, an ex-post made by Lee Zeldin, who is the 17th administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, proudly serving in Donald Trump's cabinet. Of course, the EPA had such a horrible public, I don't know, the amount of people that were pooping on the EPA the last year or so has exponentially increased as the revelation time takes place. Everyone learns about the corruption of our government institutions. Mm-hmm. But Lee Zeldin trying to appease the crowd, maybe? I don't know. He posted this. Make Sunsets is a startup that is geoengineering by injecting sulfur dioxide into the sky and then selling, quote, cooling credits. This company is polluting the air we breathe. I've instructed my team that we need to quickly get to the bottom of this and take immediate action.
Yeah, this is, it's so funny. Of course, now we've gone through in the past few years, gone through the transition of chemtrails, geoengineering being a crazy conspiracy theory, to Bill Gates, other political leaders, and just the mainstream media coming out and being like, yeah, of course there's geoengineering. Of course there's chemtrails, but it's good. It's good. I mean, it follows the cycle. I mean, now you do this as long as we have, you get the cycle down pretty good, which is first they call you crazy, then they get mad, they call you dangerous, then they admit that it's happening, but say it's good that it's happening, and then, want to make it happen more. So this particular company been spraying the air for a long time, and it's connected to this sort of the new evil version of the liberal world order, which is the monetization. Of course, it's climate change. It's the climate change justification for not only polluting the earth, but monetizing polluting the earth, which we've seen this when it comes to carbon credits. Corporations can buy a forest, and because they own the forest, they're allowed to pollute more. This wacky, what do they call it? Natural asset company. Is that what it was? NACs, natural asset company, where a company can basically own nature and then sell carbon credits or credits of some kind based on the nature that they own, just because they're running out of things to monetize. And so you have either you can monetize invisible things like crypto, or you can monetize real things like the sun and the sky and the earth. It's a really twisted. We did a longer breakdown report on these natural asset companies maybe a couple years ago, but that's great. It's great that we can just talk about it out in the open here and get mad at companies for chemtrailing us.
Climate change.
Thank you, Bill Gates. One of the people in the comments, I thought this was hilarious. They said, this is Dr. Etiquette, says, how does a startup company get a 200-year contract with a federal agency? Maybe Luke Eisman and Andre Song can answer. And they published this screenshot of what looks like the document that was signed or accepted with the federal government, the deal, and the dates of project. So first it says project or activity designation, if any, cooling Earth. Okay. Purpose of project or activity, reduce average global temperature. What, are you trying to start an ice age over there? And then on the dates of project, date first actual weather modification activity is to be undertaken. That's like that's like bullet A. Like you got to put a date under that. So this is some kind of weather modification agreement with the government. It's February 12th, 2023. Expected termination date of weather modification activities, March 23rd, 2223.
That's crazy.
That's 200 years from now. Why would you even put that? Like, what's the plan? What are they planning? Like, are they planning to be around this company for 200 years?
It's crazy for so many reasons. First, a government getting a contract for 200 years, like that's like, like the royal family owning Florida style conspiracy theory stuff. And then, yes, the certainty, like there's not even like a trial period. Like you don't want to do it for a couple years first. No, lock them in for a 200-year contract. It's insanity.
Well, maybe they're hanging out with Jared Kushner.
My generation is hopefully, with the advances in science, the first generation to live forever, or the last generation that's going to die.
If you can manipulate time and space, maybe it's not that they time travel. It's just they try to stop time from moving so that, they're in a loop.
They're actually going into the future and spraying in the future and then coming back. Like the 200 years is just like their range of how far out they can go.
There you go. Yeah, the dial opens up to 200 years. Anything more than that, you're starting to, you get lost. You fall out of the wormhole. So there you go. There's some, again, a lot of themes here with things that were once occult are no longer occult. Occult means hidden. They are now just openly esoteric. And I think that's part of the re-enchantment that we're experiencing here.
So what's the deal? Are they shutting this down?
No, he wrote a letter. Light? He wrote a letter. The head of EPA guy wrote a letter and said, we need to get to the bottom of this. And it's like, hey, why don't you? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that have been looking at not just this company, but, projects like this. I mean, there was that one story from the company from Mexico. Didn't they get shut down? They were trying to usurp so this is like ongoing. I think this is more than anything. This is trying to rebuild the trust of a government institution like the EPA, because they don't have they obviously
zero.
They don't have zero credibility. People don't trust.
And this is why.
This is why.
This is exactly why.
Yeah.
They deny that a technology ever existed, demonized anybody who brought it up, and then sign a 200-year contract. And they signed it in 2023.
I know. I'm saying with the EPA, like this Lee Zeldin guy coming out and saying we need to get to the bottom of this type of corruption kind of thing. That in itself is a PR campaign to make the EPA more trustable or whatever. Like
shut it down, baby. Shut it down.
Shut down, because we get to control the weather, not these other organizations that are trying to, or institutions or companies. So there's a hidden thing going on there too. I'm sure backdoor stuff that we can't see, but.
So along the same lines, of course, there's a lot of this going on, and people who were sort of pro Doge, pro all this stuff, they're having to sort of grapple with some more political implications of what's going on. And one of those is RFK, a lot going on with Mr. RFK.
Yeah.
There's some hullabaloo. We didn't really talk about it because I wanted to see what happened. But, there's all this hullabaloo, Ian Carroll, all the mainstream alternative media people coming out going, oh, there's blackmail, there's sexual blackmail. Oh, RFK, he's going to be blackmailed. Watch out. We're hearing he's going to be blackmailed. And then really nothing really came of it. It was this weird week period about 2 weeks ago when all that could be talked about was the alleged potential later maybe coming out sexual blackmail of RFK. We have not heard a whole lot about it lately, but it did coincide with an announcement that RFK tweeted. And he said, and the specific words are very important. I don't have it right in front of me, but he said something to the effect of, regarding the measles, the MMR vaccine is the most effective way to stop the measles. Now, you got to put this... you got to put this into the context of yes, RFK has for many, many years, put out the research and the whistleblowing effort to connect various vaccines with various things. And the MMR vaccine was one of them that he previously had made a lot of comments about the dangers of, the testing of, things like this. So for him to come out and say, the measles vaccine is the best way to stop the measles, it's very specific. It's a very specific thing. And this is not what this story is about. But so there started to be a little bit of a turn on RFK, or maybe a little bit more of a hawk eye on each and every one of his things. Now, I contend, and I've heard it contended, that, of course, he's in a very strange political position, in a political position that traditionally has been controlled by big pharma. And, to the more conspiratorial mind, you don't mess with big pharma. Lots of bad things can happen if you start getting between billionaires and their billions, especially for a powerful industry like big pharma. And so, they go, oh my gosh, okay, he's saying the measles vaccine is the best way to stop the measles. He was getting all this guff. Of course, the media playing up the measles that's killing children and the unvaccinated measles children, which of course was the classic. It's just, you look at the data, it's just classic media running an operation rather than, something really to be too freaked out about. But it had put a lot of heat on RFK. Now, he did tweet, MMR vaccine is the best way to stop the measles. He did not say anything else. I think it's possible that perhaps it is the best way to stop the measles from spreading. That doesn't mean it doesn't do other stuff, because the MMR vaccine is precisely one that RFK had picked on previously. But a few days ago, Donald Trump had his board meeting. It was a cabinet meeting, but it was done in a way that I've never seen before, which is new for the American government, which is running it like a board meeting where he is sitting at a big table. He had the whole cabinet sitting around a big table, and like a board meeting, they went person to person making sort of announcements to the public. And this was RFK's announcement.
And we're trying to refocus the press to get them to pay attention to the chronic disease epidemic as you've asked us to. We have now...
No audio for you?
No audio for me. Is it getting to the chat? Chat, were you getting audio from that video?
Let's see. You just do this. Stop sharing. Reshare.
Oh, that's fun. We've got some fun trolls. Let's see.
Ooh, we got trolls.
Look at some fun trolls while you figure it out.
And we're trying to refocus the press to get them to pay attention.
Supremacists.
Can you hear now?
Trump is our role model. I don't hear it. Chat, Wheezy, do you hear it? Negative. No sound from the chat here.
To the chronic disease epidemic.
Let's see here. Permission for racist hate, violence, scapegoating. As long as he's a Republican, we're good, right?
And we're trying to refocus the press to get them to pay attention.
That's working.
Okay. All right.
All right. The best one, before I ban this person, the best one was, why don't both of you wear dresses? Pretend like you're women. Huh.
Okay.
It's an interesting suggestion.
That's all right.
I don't understand it. I'm sorry you're having a hard time.
Yeah. But that says more about that person who made the comment than I think us.
Yeah, he's having a hard day. He's having a tough day. He needs to be seen.
Go get some fresh air, get some sun, get some vitamin D.
Bye-bye, sir. Yeah, don't worry. He's gone now. He'll have no choice but to go touch some grass.
All right. Okay, here's RFK.
And we're trying to refocus the press to get them to pay attention to the chronic disease epidemic as you've asked us to. We have now 38% of American youth are pre-diabetic. This was unknown 30 years ago. Every child that becomes diabetic, there should be a headline about them. We have 100 million adults who are pre-diabetic or diabetic. And we have, we have now, the autism rates have gone from now most recent numbers we think are going to be about 1 in 31, 1 in 12, so they're going up again. From 1 in 10,000 when I was a kid And we are going, at your direction, we are going to know by September. We've launched a massive testing and research effort that's going to involve hundreds of scientists from around the world. By September, we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
So big. Think of that. So it was 1 in 10,000 children had autism, and now it's 1 in 31. Not 31,000, 31. That's a horrible statistic, isn't it? And there's got to be something artificial out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
Something artificial out there doing it, huh?
There will be no bigger news conference than that. So that's it. If you can come up with that answer where you stop taking something, you stop eating something, or maybe it's a shot, but something's causing it. It can't be from 10,000 to. Can you imagine that, Marco? That's a big number. Thank you very much. You're doing great. Thank you, Bobby.
And we're trying to.
There you go. Okay.
I mean, the joke is, okay, yay, RFK Jr. is going to do the studies to find out what we've all known all along. And, Trump just comes out and includes, of course, what a lot of people suspect it to be. But look, he's getting a lot of differing responses from this. The guy, I forget his name, the guy who came up with the idea of Operation Warp Speed that brought Operation Warp Speed to Trump to be approved. He was coming out talking about how dangerous RFK is. He's, oh no, we can't do it. He's insinuating so many things. You can't solve autism. It just kind of happens. Oh, this is really mean. Everybody, talking about how hateful RFK is for wanting to figure out what causes autism. Okay, that's fine.
Dr. Monsef Slaoui, the GlaxoSmithKline guy, or is it a different guy?
I don't really remember the name. It's the fella who brags about being the one who basically invented warp speed and brought it to Trump there. So if that's the guy, that's the guy. And, no surprise that the guy who made up the plan to be able to skip long and costly scientific studies to make sure that things are safe isn't so excited about somebody doing the studies to make sure something is safe. And again, the criticism to RFK comes out, how can he do it by September? That's impossible. You can't do it by September. You can't do scientific studies. You can't do safe scientific studies that fast.
Wait a minute. I think I remember a time when scientific studies were shoved through a little time portal and distributed to the people very quickly a few years ago.
Yes, the beautiful revealing of the hypocrisy of the guy who invented Operation Warp Speed, saying that speeding through studies is not safe and not okay. So, again, RFK sort of in the spiritual atmosphere of this entire administration is giving those who may not be have everybody's best interests at heart an opportunity to expose their sort of hypocrisy there. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. He says he's getting hundreds of scientists involved from around the world. It does beg the question. I mean, and I think this is the point. It begs the question, well, if they can do it this quick and if they find it by September, who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if they do, then why was that not done before? I think it's a little dangerous, RFK. I think even more than Trump, I'm a little worried about RFK's safety. He's a little bit more directly in the line of fire, I think, to, some of the things. Now, there was this clip here. This was from this morning, actually. He was making some more comments about autism and the plans that they have.
There are many, many other studies that affirm this. And instead of listening to this canard of epidemic denial, all you have to do is start reading a little science, because the answer is very clear. And this is catastrophic for our country. There's a recent study by Blaxell et al. And a team of other researchers that said that the cost of treating autism in this country by 2035, so within 10 years, will be $1 trillion a year. This is added to already astronomical healthcare costs. And then there's an individual injury. These are kids that, this is a preventable disease. We know it's an environmental exposure. It has to be. Genes do not cause epidemics. They can provide a vulnerability. You need an environmental toxin. And Irva Hertz-Pichoda pointed out that because of this mythology, that the amount of money and resources put into studying genetic causes, which is a dead end, has been historically 10 to 20 times the amount spent by NIH and other agencies to study environmental factors, to study exposures, to study external factors, and that's where we're going to find the answer. This is an individual tragedy as well. Autism destroys families. More importantly, it destroys our greatest resource, which are our children. These are children who should not be suffering like this. These are kids who, many of them were fully functional and regressed because of some environmental exposure into autism when they're 2 years old. And these are kids who will never pay taxes. They'll never hold a job. They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date. Many of them will never use a toilet unassisted. And we have to recognize we are doing this to our children. And we need to put an end to it. And I think I'm going to have Walter Zaharodny, who is...
Okay.
He goes into what he's going to do about that. There was a question about his voice in the chat. Yes, his very famous voice. I have heard him talk about his voice, and, you know, I don't know whether it's true or not, but he gave the explanation on a podcast I listened to once that his voice was actually a result of a vaccine injury in the 90s. That is the explanation he gave. And of course, that is kind of lines up with the timing of his interest in autism, stuff like that. Again, that's just what he said in a podcast I listened to once. Yeah, and you know, it's interesting. He puts out that point about genetic causes. The whole thing people are mad about with him specifically is he is suggesting that there's environmental causes to autism, and that
it's not exclusively vaccines. Is that what people are mad about? Or
so the idea, billions and billions of dollars has gone into autism research, which is that specifically focus on searching for a genetic cause, assuming that autism is genetic. And so searching the genes, genetic. Where's the genetic? Show us the genetic. And look, I don't even know how many decades we're into autism research, but it's been many decades and they haven't found, specific genetic causes. And so his point here is, well, let's take a second and see if there's environmental causes. Now, specifically, the industry has demonized this idea that it's environmental causes for many reasons, but one of the reasons that the public has locked on, because it's really the surprising part is the public being like, oh, you're so evil, RFK, for wanting to find environmental causes of autism. Well, because there's been this campaign that to convince parents that if it is environmental, it means that they're partly responsible, something that they've, put into. And I don't think RFK believes that. He's never said that. I don't think that's the thing. But the insinuation, the psyop, is to say, oh, he thinks it's in the environment, so that means it's the parents' fault. What? You blaming the parents for autism? Blah, blah, blah. So it's been very difficult. But yeah, diverting research away from genetic into environmental causes. And he also makes the point that the data is kind of already there. And I think that's why he put the timeline out to September, because his whole career is based on looking at the data that exists already in studies. And it just was a matter of the government or organizations coming in and saying, no, that's racist, don't do that, But now that there's some government power behind the ability to say that, it may go faster. $1 trillion, he said, is, the healthcare cost for autistic kids. I forget what was it, 10 years or something? Got to remember, that's what you're up against. $1 trillion of profit for the pharmaceutical companies, for the medical industry. So that's the threat. He actually put a number on the threat to the system.
Well, that's still less than the $1.5 trillion that was wiped from the U.S. stock market today, Basil.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so, you can see that there's a lot up front. I did think it was funny, though. These autistic kids, they'll never pay taxes.
That is the last thing that he should have said. Everything else was fine, but yeah, why the taxes?
You gotta be a government guy. Yeah, it was for someone.
It was for someone.
Someone who needed to hear that. I don't know who.
Hey, if that's the compromise, that's fine. Like, I'd rather have that than some terrible thing going on.
It seems like a win-win for sure. Yeah. But there you go. You're talking about a $1 trillion paycheck for the medical industry at stake. You're talking countless numbers of quote unquote experts, their reputations at stake. We are on the precipice of some potentially pretty extreme shakeups in not just the world, but the history of humanity. So I would be lying if I didn't say I was getting a little nervous for RFK's safety guns.
Well, yeah, considering the fact that, especially with the vaccine industry specifically, I think is probably, and with health and everything else, but vaccine specifically, I think things can change a lot. Just because we had COVID, it's on people's front of their minds. There's a whole generation that may have some health issues because, there's just all kinds of different possibilities moving forward. So,
and on top of that, the mRNA, or what they're calling now saRNA, type vaccines, it is considered, it may have actually gone through, but RFK is considering allowing fast track studies for the new mRNA bird flu.
Yes, it was
vaccines.
passed. I thought they were granted.
Passed? Yeah.
I think they were granted some stuff. So it continues to move forward. It's just,
so you have this weird back and forth with him. And that's what I think we're seeing with the tweet about the measles, but also he comes out and does this, but then he fast tracks another vaccine. It feels like he has to walk this extremely thin line between, doing what he wants to do and also not getting disappeared by, the threats.
We've come a long way, Basil. Remember stuff like this? Vaccine. Number one way. Guy saying that I am vaccine. This is in a debate for the governor of California a few years ago. And then we had de Blasio.
I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right this moment. Vaccination.
I guess it's better than that, what we got going on. But you're right. I think he should look out for his life. If there only was some kind of service or company that can help protect our national treasure, RFK Jr.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think actually I've got an idea for them, Gons.
Okay.
There's a new app going around.
Okay.
The Beast system is delivering.
All right.
And let's play this clip here. This is from TikTok.
I don't know if anyone else has been getting the videos of the girls who hired bodyguards for New York Fashion Week. Basically, there's this app where you can order a bodyguard just like how you would order an Uber. I was like, okay, first of all, that's kind of genius. Second of all, what is this app? So I found it. The app is called Protector. By the way, this is not an ad. I wish. I was just genuinely really curious, like, how does this app work? And then also, how much is it to hire a bodyguard? Also, can we just talk about their account, like the Protector app? All their videos are the bodyguards introducing themselves. You get to choose who you want your protector to be. Apparently, you get to also choose how they dress. When I first saw like the girls' videos, the app wasn't yet downloadable. You had to pre-order it. I guess it was still in beta. Like, you don't have to pay for it. You just like press pre-order and then they would notify you when the app was in the app store. So I got a notification today saying that it's available. It's only available in LA and New York right now. So I just pretended like, okay, if I were to book a protector in LA, how much would it be? It says all the protectors are only active duty or retired law enforcement and military. Then the next page, there's the choices of all the different protectors, and there's a video of them explaining, again, like their background and why they would be a good protector. So I clicked on this first one. Jim. Looks like he has a very qualified bio, LAPD, US Air Force, Marine. Then you say how many protectees you need. Let's just say just one person, me. How many protectors? Let's go with one because I want to see like what would the cheapest option be. Now here's the part that got me. You get to pick what they wear. This is the pick dress code section. This one is business formal. We have a business casual. There's tactical casual. And then there's operator. I clicked on the first one. Then you put the details of like pickup location, date, pickup time, the duration of protection. The minimum is 5 hours. So I put my alma mater, chose the minimum duration of protection. And then this is what I got. $500, 5 hours, one protector, one car. And then looks like there's also an annual member fee, $129. Look, I don't know how much a regular bodyguard is. So I don't know if this is really, really high, really low, or average. But I will say, the fact that we can order a bodyguard as quickly as we can order an Uber nowadays, it also shows you the price if you were to split it with more people. And then wait, there's more. Apparently the same company has this app in the App Store called Patrol. It's not available yet, but you can like pre-order. It looks like this one is neighborhood security that's done by crowdfunding. So people in your neighborhood can contribute to the fund. And then with the money that your neighborhood has raised, you can unlock different tiers of patrol cars. Talk about bonding with your neighbors. I don't think my neighborhood would ever pay for one, but hey, LA, New York, I don't know. $100K to unlock AI patrol drones, $150K for AI patrol robotics. This is the robot.
Okay.
It's happening, baby. It's
the
happening.
Robots are being deployed in the neighborhoods. You just got to
private police.
The crowdfunding part is interesting too because it is sort of a decentralized, more decentralized way to have private security in a location, a neighborhood, whatever it may be. So it's a very...
So that was actually what caught my eye more, was not the Protector app, although the Protector app is awesome. It's called they call it the Uber with guns, where you're basically just Ubering. And the part where you could like tell them what to wear is great. You know, if I fly down to LA and, you know, going to go visit you, Guns, I can have a guy show up in like full SWAT gear at the airport and like stuff me in a, what is it? Escalade, and you know,
make it look like you're getting kidnapped or something. I mean, this is all. It's true that everything is just turning into a show. Like your life, if you order this, you're causing a scene. You're basically a movie.
Yeah. I mean, and for $500, I mean,
that's
look,
that was much lower.
I don't have
for
an
one
extra
guy.
$500 laying around, but hey, if I was in a position where I really wanted to make a splash and show up, you know, to a conference with a SWAT team, $500 would be cool. Did the Get Protectors TikTok page open up for you?
No, it still does not work. I can't look at any videos.
Yeah, it doesn't open up on Chrome for me, but that's a treat. We put the link in the show notes for you guys. Their TikTok presence is a bunch of bios of their employees. So you can see, you know,
Is
each
it like
and
a
every one of their
360 camera view swirling around the guy or something like that?
Yeah, kind of. It's like the guy. Maybe I could send you one here. Let me pick the most viewed one. Let's see who is. I'll pick the one that's the most viewed. This guy has 500. Oops, Jim. Okay, let me
let's check out Jim.
Let me throw this over to you. I will link it. I'll link it to the Protector app title we had there. Sorry, folks. You got to see Jim, though. Jim. This is the guy. Apparently, Jim is getting all the business. So there you go. Hopefully it pulls up. But yeah, their TikTok, like they don't have a presence, like they're not posting, but they have each one of their guys kind of presented here in a little bio. So you can choose the guy you want to show up and take you from the airport.
Okay, let's hear from Jim.
I'm Jim. I'm a protector. I spent a life of service. I did 27 years with the Los Angeles Police Department, and prior to that, 2 years as a correctional officer with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. In terms of my military career, I did 12 years with the United States Marine Corps in the Scout Sniper Platoon with a combat deployment to Iraq in 2003, and I finished out my military career as a mission intelligence coordinator for the United States Air Force in the RPA community, drones, Reapers, and Predators. A protector isn't a security guard or a bodyguard. We're all law enforcement, prior military special operations, or often both. We're trained in tactical combat casualty care, risk mitigation, risk assessment, and site assessment. We spend our careers heading towards danger, but we're also trained to extract ourselves and our protectees from dangerous situations. We will be available in New York City for booking, serving you with quality and qualified protectors.
Boom.
Protect me, Jim. Protect me, Jim.
Boom.
Extract me. Get me out of here, Jim. Let's go. So, you know, pretty hardcore guys. I mean, Jim, come on, buddy. Pick me up at the airport. Don't be late.
At this point, you can order an app of protectors, and then maybe you can order. There's like an app where you can order some kind of terrorist activity, and you can just, you know what I mean? Like you can totally create a situation, a whole staged event.
It'll be, like a rich people sort of twisted fantasy. They get to,
that's what I would do.
Get themselves kidnapped with, you know, the hostage app. They come and take you, and then you use Protector, and Jim comes and saves you. Sir Darren out of the Hungry Panda says, can you change their firearms attachments too? I literally think you can.
I think you can. That'd be very, come in with the bazooka. It's an extra $1,000, you know?
That what was it? Patrol app, though, that's something else, because we've talked about the movement to private security.
Yes.
This was a big conversation during the defund the police movement.
Yeah.
Of course, this is a sort of a libertarian sort of idea. And look at this, the free market showing up, filling the need, where, you get together with your neighborhood and you crowdfund. So I don't know, exactly how big your neighborhood is or whatever, but if you can get together with all your neighbors and get $150,000 a year put together, you can have robot dogs patrolling your neighborhood.
We're going to see this, guaranteed.
AI drones.
We don't even need to put it in the red book at this point. This is happening, and I mean, the gated community is going to be seen as just you mean gated communities didn't have the Protector? What is it called? The private act or whatever app.
You didn't have the robots running around.
You didn't have robots,
you don't have your
the crowdfunded
AI.
robots guarding your neighborhood. What kind of world were we living in before? So that'll happen in the next 10 years, I would say.
Oh, I think 1 year.
I think next year we will have entire neighborhoods with.
I do.
I think you're right.
I do think so. I mean, the app is here. I don't know if it'll be a lot of them, but I think this time next year, it will not be unheard of for probably a nicer neighborhood in your area.
LA,
well,
New York.
They won't make a big deal about it, but if you find yourself rolling around in there, you'll see black Escalades, you'll see drones kind of cruising around, you'll see robot dogs, and it'll just start getting more. I mean, from what my hunch has been this whole year, and I keep talking about it, how this is it. This is the last year before we're in the next phase of humanity here. I'm very convinced that this won't be sort of unheard of in the next year or so. I mean, you could do it now.
Yeah, you can do it now.
And what's that? How many people you think live in a neighborhood? Do you think that's 200 houses? Is that like 100 houses?
Ooh, that's a good
question.
What's
a neighborhood?
I have no idea. I am a very inexperienced and impotent real estate guy, so I know nothing about real estate. So that's a bad question.
My guess would be that, like, I don't know, a neighborhood is constituted of, between 100 and 200 houses.
Probably. That sounds about right. Yeah.
And, if you could get each person on the block to give $1,000
for the year,
boom, there you go. And that's nothing, especially if you're in a nice neighborhood. That's probably less than your HOA.
Yeah, but what if we're going to have problems? What if these robots take out the neighbor's friend, the kid's friend or something, there's just all kinds of
It'll be
things.
weird. I don't know exactly what it is, but it also kind of gets rid of the need for HOA too. Cause security, that would be like an HOA expense for a nice neighborhood.
Right.
But if you get together with your neighbors, $1,000, what is that? $100 a month? Everybody puts in less than that. $900 a month, and you get robots patrolling your streets. Yeah. It's simultaneously totally dystopic, totally expected, but also, as it has to be, the transhumanism, technocratic populist future. It is a little cool. It wouldn't work. They wouldn't take over the world if it wasn't a little cool.
I mean, the kids riding on the backs of robot dogs, that's not going to happen until, you got the patrols there, and then the kids are playing with them,
Yeah, well, Sir Darren makes a good point. We'll have the digital ID verification scanner guns. Oh, nuts. That was a story I meant to bring. Okay, I'll bring this story stronger next time, but Real ID. There's been big updates on Real ID. Yes. There's a chance that you will need Real ID or a passport to fly domestically by May 7th. I want to dig in deeper. I'm not quite buying a lot of the hype that I'm seeing on social media, but we'll dig in a little deeper.
Did you want to play this clip of...
Yeah, let's play that little clip. This is Fox, if we're looking at like mainstream responses to protect your app. How long is it?
49 seconds.
We can play 49 seconds.
It is being called Uber with guns. Angelinos can now book a ride that comes with an armed security detail through the Protector app. This on-demand service features gun-carrying former military or law enforcement professionals. You select the number of Escalades for your personal motorcade, plus the type of uniform your armed guards wear, ranging from business formal to full-on SWAT attire.
What?
Protector service costs $1,000 for one guard and one car for 5 hours, plus an annual member fee. The service is also available in New York.
The guy was like, what? What?
I know.
What?
He sounded so surprised and so disturbed. And that's why I'm kind of like, bro, you got to listen to Canary Cry. You saw this coming a mile away.
Yeah. Cool. So
that's what I got.
That's it.
We got more stories here coming up. How are we doing?
Doing okay. We're doing okay.
We're doing okay. Let's take a second. I want to give a big, huge shout out and a congratulations because we are mere days gone from Easter, and Easter is officially the due date for little baby Bella.
That's right.
The new Canarian coming out, dropping on Easter.
That's quite the egg hunt right there.
I'm just saying, stalling a little bit so I can pull up this text message from little baby Bella's parents. I need a better system for this. Here we go. This is coming in from, who is this?
Cool Runnings
Timo and yeah, is it Cool Runnings Mon?
I thought so.
See, this is the thing with the text message alert system is I don't have.
It's Send Jess and Cool Runnings Mon, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe so. Yes, they sent a cute little picture of a Basil's Bunker sticker on their calendar that has baby Bella's birthday coming on Easter. So God bless you guys. This will be the last episode before baby Bella hits the shelves. So congratulations.
It's the shelves. I like that. I like all the fun terminology. Very cool.
And while I'm at it, I want to give a big shout out to everybody who has joined the Canary Cry text message alert system.
Oh.
That's right. Do it, folks. We're going to disappear. You're going to get unsubscribed. You're not going to get notifications. And so this is just the world we're in. You need a more direct connection with shows and communities that you want to be connected with. So if you text the word canary to 877-740-3226, again, that's just canary, no punctuation, to 877-740-3226. We don't take any data. I don't have your name. I don't have nothing. But you'll start receiving text messages when we go live, so you never miss a show.
Shout out to everybody who joined the Canary Cry text message alert system. All you got to do is text the word canary to 877-740-3226. And you can send us messages whenever you want.
That's right. You can send us messages. I read them all. Yes, even the mean ones. And sometimes I read them on the show here. Keep an ear out for your, what is it called? Why does that phrase keep getting erased from my brain? The area code.
Yeah.
Listen to the area codes. You'll be surprised at how many Canarians are in your area. 717 says, can't wait to get home and see the show. Sorry, I'm missing the live stream. Prayers that it reaches everyone who needs to hear the truth today. Thank you, 717. 859 says, loving the clips on YouTube. Very shareable. Thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah.
Ran an
Good job on that.
experiment.
Yes. That was a good one.
Putting some clips, mainly of the Beyond the Verse, onto YouTube, and I have been very surprised at how many people have seen them.
I ran into my own clip of me talking, but I didn't realize it was me for the first 10 seconds. It was the strangest experience because I wasn't watching my phone. And I turned on some short on YouTube, and it went to the next short, and then it was the clip from Beyond the Verse, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. The arc of the what is he talking about?" And then look, and it's me talking. I was like, "Wow, I don't know if that's good or bad that I didn't even recognize my own voice."
I totally get it. Sometimes if I'm listening to podcasts, just like one of our podcasts will come on next, just on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised how long I'll listen to it before I even realize what's going on.
Oh yeah, that's us. There we are right there.
406 Monica says, thank you to all the executive producers who are so faithful to the CCR ministry. God bless you all. Have a great show.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Monica.
Good message.
Yeah,
Great message.
God bless the execs. Oh, by the way, executive producer Chelsea S. sent a text message.
Yes.
It says, Chelsea S. here. My son says hi to the horse electrolyte guy.
Hey.
The 5 kiddos love listening with me. Thank you. Oh, well, shout out to executive producer Chelsea S. and all the kids. Thanks for listening.
The minis.
860 says, love listening to you live at work, but I enjoy the video feed better from the comfort of my home. Praise the Lord.
Interesting.
Yes, indeed. Just a couple more here, just for fun. Let's see here. Okay. Jeremy Stone of the By Their Fruits podcast resent this and said, just in case I didn't see it, says, hey boys, I'll be catching another live today. So glad I signed up for the text message alert. Woo! Thank you. Basil, you told me to reach out to you sometime. Oh, did you lose me? What?
Hold on. What's going on? I know I see you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, but I can't hear him. Can people hear Basil out there? Chat, let us know.
Chat. Let us know if you can hear me or if this is just a Gons problem.
Okay, maybe it's just me.
Let me check my settings.
I don't know, but I cannot hear Basil. It might
just be just you. Yeah. Okay. Chat, where are you at?
Let's see. Let me check something.
Okay. Yes, Rami says they can hear me.
Oh,
so I think it's just you,
hear Basil. Can you still hear and see me?
Oh gosh, here we
it's
go.
On my end. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I'll come back.
Oh, there he goes. He's gone. He'll be back. I'm going to keep reading this message here. So back to the message from Jeremy Stone of the By Their Fruits podcast. Says, Basil, you told me to reach out to you sometime. What would be the best way to do so? Email us at canarycryradio@gmail.com is the best place to contact us in a place that is consistent and I can search and you get put on our stuff. The text message list is fun, but is not organized at all. It says, also, in case you missed it or others want to meet up, I have a Facebook, Jeremy Stone. You'll see a black and white picture of me with scripture on it as my profile picture. Love y'all. Keep up the good work. And if anybody wants to meet up in Albuquerque, hit me up on Facebook. Okay, Jeremy Stone on Facebook. Black and white picture. Thank you, Jeremy, from the By the Fruits podcast. Just a couple more here. 614 says, Illuminati overlords are listening. Proceed with your transmission. Thank you very much, Illuminati overlords. We did do that. 864 says, when are you guys going to put video on Spotify? Yeah, that's another deal. So we used to do that more. We had actually a producer who was helping us with that because it's an extra couple steps to get the video on there because we can't stream straight to Spotify. I would be open if that's something that people want to do. If you want the video on Spotify, what would really, really be good is if a producer wanted to take responsibility for that. We could give you access to everything it takes to do that. It's very simple. You're just moving a video from one place to another place. Right now, it's just a little bit too much for Guns to be able to do. Gon says, I have no audio, but kids are also screaming, so I need to address that for a moment. Okay, yeah, no problem. We'll just let Guns make sure the kids don't burn down the house. And I'll just give a couple more shout outs. Let's see here. Somebody sent a very critical text message and did the thing of like, you probably won't read this. Doubt you'll read this on the air. You'll never read this on the air. And honestly, I didn't want to read it on the air because you said that. But then I was going to read it on the air. But due to the nature of the text and the length, I mean, it's just very long. But due to the nature of the text, it requires Gons to be here. Gons needs to be here for that. And it so happens to be that Gons is not here. So the timing is bad. So I'll try to do that later. I really did want to read your very critical text message, but Gons isn't here. So one last one. 469 says, really appreciate the show. We'll send a longer message later, but thanks for all you do and appreciate y'all getting into scripture more as of late. Keep it up. Max W. Thank you very much, Max W. And Max W is in Portland, Vancouver area. Possibly could see about organizing a meetup sometime in the future. Not in the next month, as I'm working on a project I think you'll like. God bless. Okay. I love projects that I will like, Max. And Portland, Vancouver. That's great. We got Canarians up there for sure. There was a pretty good Oregon meetup a few years ago. I think it was one of the larger meetups. So there you go. You need to do it, folks. Everybody do it. Text the word canary to 877-740-3226. You'll get on the list. Don't worry. We don't take any information. We don't rent out the list or sell the list or anything. You'll just get a couple texts from me a week and you can text us back. Say all sorts of stuff. Text canary to 877-740-3226. Yeah, somebody just texted Gons is off screen, just Basil. Yes, thank you. He is having to do something. I'm not exactly sure what he is doing, but he'll be back soon. So with that, I will get into it. I want to take a second and thank some producers who are coming in, making this show possible. God bless you. Again, we're on the value for value model. You know this, you love it. Honestly, as the days go by, almost day by day, there are more and more and more reasons why the Lord has positioned us on the value for value model versus going, the traditional easy access monetization ways. We get ads on YouTube, take sponsors. We still get offers for sponsors every day. Almost every day we're getting offers for sponsorships, which, obviously I'm assuming are not listeners to the show, which is even worse. Like, that's the thing. If they're just going to email, if they don't know we're value for value, meaning they don't listen, but they're offering to pay us for sponsorship opportunities, like, Of course, they're not even Canarians. Like, why would we even consider that? Because it's only serving us. It only serves Gons and us, and Gons and I. And, that's totally different than Canarians who are putting together projects for other Canarians to support the show, kind of like Cage Rattler Coffee, which we'll get into in a second. So, we are moving into this very interesting area. We are and will always stay value for value, and we will probably still continue to get offers for sponsorships forever. It's just kind of the thing. It's fun. It's a little bit, what's the word? Encouraging, maybe not encouraging, flattering. It is a little flattering because, of course, a lot of times we consider ourselves, maybe a little more niche than we traditionally would like to be. But the fact that sponsors keep wanting to throw money at the show, it's a little flattering. But anyways, we're all in the value for value. It's very simple. We do not serve corporations, commies, cartels, governments, NGOs. Nope. All of our 100% of our finances come from individual human beings like you, generous and productive with what God has given them, with their time, their talent, or their treasure. I mean, truly incredible people. And that's why we like to thank them here on the show. We have some producers who came in beneath the executive producer amount, which means under $100, but over $7.77, which means they have a note to be read on the show. I want to start by highlighting producer Tabitha. Producer Tabitha came in, joined the supply drop, $33 a month, and will now start receiving the supply drop in the mail every quarter. We're putting together, designed by artists, producers of the show, packaged by producers. The whole thing is producer led, and it's specifically to serve producers of the show. This is that parallel economy that is going to become more and more important as we move through whatever craziness is happening. And you can go to Canary Cry support drop, canarycrysupply.com if you think, hey, I'm getting value. I want to continue to get value. And I know that putting value back in is the only way to ensure that. For $33 a month, you'll start receiving as a free gift every quarter a big old package of very cool stuff. We're going to try to give people a heads up about what's in the next supply drop ahead of time because we're not professional marketers and apparently we're supposed to do that. But thank you, Tabitha. Fun story about Tabitha. Tabitha was actually signed up before, but it's sort of a classic thing with PayPal is that every year, for whatever reason, they will just kind of stop people's subscriptions without telling them, without telling us. They just kind of stop doing it. Sometimes they'll give a reason like, oh, your bank said no or whatever. But a lot of times there's no notice. There's nothing. They don't even give a reason for it. And this is a tough part in every new year is because this happens to a lot of people. They don't know it. Their support doesn't come in. They don't receive the supply drop. They don't even notice until 3 months later. So highly recommend people go check your supply drop, go check your PayPal, go check your card, whatever you use to sign up, and just make sure that you're still signed up because we don't want to miss out on sending you something. So thank you, Tabitha, for coming in, making sure that happened. Next up, we have producer The American Hobo. The American Hobo is back on a 3-episode streak, which means The American Hobo's heating up, which would have a jingle we'll play you when Gons gets back. American Hobo comes in for $23.32. Again, thank you so much, The American Hobo. Love to thank you for your faithfulness the past few episodes. Next up, we got producer Tyler B. Producer Tyler B comes in for $11.11. That's a jingle there for you. Tyler B says, hey, I have a request for the Canary Cry calendar. Okay, Canary Cry calendar, the most favored treasure of Canarians. Every year, it comes with the supply drop. Sign up for the supply drop in the last quarter of the year. You get the Canary Cry calendar. It is a beautiful piece put together custom. chock-a-block full with scripture and funny moments in history, secret society related moments in history, anniversaries, also conspiracy related, UFO, space program related. Just a calendar chock-a-block full of the most entertaining possible things that you could have on the calendar, including memorable dates for the show. But Tyler B says, I have a request for the Canary Cry calendar. Can we add the biblical feasts? I, and probably others, celebrate Passover and not Ishtar, so it would be cool to add that to the calendar. Anyways, love you guys, and I'm praying for all of you. Well, we'll certainly make a note of that. We'll send that on to the calendar committee. I was under the impression, I don't have my calendar within arm's reach, or else I would check this. I was under the impression that the biblical feasts were already on the calendar, but maybe not. Maybe just some are and some aren't. We'll check into that. Thank you very much, Tyler B. And next up, we got, CageRattlerCoffee.com. CageRattlerCoffee.com. Yum. CageRattlerCoffee.com is a producer-led program for the show where they have secured, before tariffs, coffee beans from Nicaragua, Peru, Honduras, other places, Congo. And we have our very own, very talented, very hardworking and loving coffee roasting producers who roast coffee just for the producers. You can go to CageRattlerCoffee.com. You can get the Nephilim Hunter dark roast. You got the Emu Wrangler medium roast. You got all sorts of stuff going on over there. Honestly, people cannot stop telling me how much they love this coffee. It is, it's maybe the number one thing people text us about is how much they love the coffee. People are going back for their seconds and thirds. And we try to keep, CageRattlerCoffee.com, is keeping prices competitive. It's really tough for like this small batch type of thing. But the thing you can know for sure is that every bag of coffee, a portion of that goes to support the show. And this is instead of getting random corporations, random people to advertise their product, to control your mind, to play a part in the psyop for our own personal gain. We have producers coming together, making a system to provide this parallel economy type of thing for the Canarians, for Canarians, by Canarians. And of course, you need what coffee are you drinking if you're not drinking Nephilim Hunter Dark Roast? Like, what's even the point? On the topic of that, let's see here. Rami in the chat says, if you can find good sponsors, I wouldn't even be against it as long as they are not Masonic. Yeah, that is the tough part, isn't it? Rami also says, Nephilim Hunter is my favorite. I must order it. That's right. Go to CageRattlerCoffee.com. Go get more Nephilim Hunter. Yeah, it is an ongoing conversation about what does it mean? Like, what is value for value? What is, I'll tell you this, on its face, number one, if the company does not exist for the benefit of Canarians, we're not interested. If we are looking at an exchange of your attention and your trust in us for money to sell just a product that exists, we're just not interested. I'm not sure there's a way to align that with the value for value model. However, I think CageRattlerCoffee.com is an interesting experiment in that it is only for Canarians, and it is sourced, produced by Canarians, provided to Canarians, specifically with the understanding that it's supporting the show. This parallel economy aspect to it is very interesting to us and is very important, I think, especially as we continue to move in a direction where money is more and more fractious to the community. If somebody wants to sell Chinese doodads, that's, and they want to have us tell you guys to go buy their Chinese doodads, and that's not serving anybody, and it's just kind of trying to make money off of the attention. I'm just not interested in that. We're not interested. But, we are interested in finding more improved ways that align with value for value, that provide stuff to Canarians, to the community. So there you go. We're having some conversations with some people who are interested in figuring out how that works. But it's funny because it is annoying how specifically difficult we tend to make it. But we're just trying our best to make sure that we are as integrous as possible. All right. Let's see here. You know what? We had someone who made a fun song specifically for the Nephilim Hunter Dark Roast that we are going to play right here. But Gonz is still gone. So I don't know. We'll see if he pops up. He's popping in and out, but let's see here. Rami in the chat. Oh, there you go. I hear you. You got the wrong microphone setting, but I do hear you. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. I know. Well, why don't you not do that? Hold on. We got to text him. Mike, wrong. There you go. In the chat, let me know if you heard Gonz there for a second. Rami says, Basil, freeze-dried food for survival equipment, knives, blankets, etc. I would buy quality items to encourage you. I mean, yeah, that's the other option. Folks, we are getting to a position where Gonz and I might need to start finding additional ways to support our families. And who knows? I don't know. Maybe if one of us or both of us have to start a company or something to try to fill in the gaps, we can figure that out. And I don't know. If I had a company, I would certainly not be able to refrain myself from mentioning it on the show. But thank you very much. Oh, and I say that specifically because, I don't know, I've considered perhaps something related to Basil's Bunker, some freeze-dried food, some, maybe a monthly box of supplies that come in every month to kind of slowly grow your preparatory cabinet or something, because it can be expensive buying everything you need all at once. But, like most things in life, it's much more profitable to our lives to make small, consistent moves rather than big, drastic ones. All right, we're still figuring out Gonz's thing. Rami does say, yes, we hear him. You heard Gonz. That is so weird. Y'all can hear both of us. I can hear him. He just can't hear me. I don't know. All my settings are exactly the same. I don't know. I blame him. We'll see what happens here. But with that, I want to take a second because it is Wednesday. We have people who support the show under the $7.77 mark. Those we don't thank every single episode, but we are keeping their streaks going. People coming in for $2, $3, $4, $5 every episode. They are on major streaks, and so I'm going to thank them right now, starting with, of course, Mrs. Tinfoil Hatman, who is on a 135 episode streak. We have Veronica D, who's on a 473 episode streak. Where'd it go? 3. Oh, we had Aaron B. Aaron B is on now a 14 episode streak. Let's see here. Sir Scott is on a 526 episode streak, and Sir Casey is on a 530 episode streak. Incredible. Thank you so much for that. Now let's see here. Should we see if we can bring Gonz back on the show? Let me check my settings. Just make sure that it's not my problem. No. My stuff is all good. Problem is I have to text to him. Yeah, I told him his mic was wrong. That's why you heard all the funky hissing and buzzing. And he says, doesn't matter. I still can't hear you. Well, it does matter a little bit because we're listening to the scary room noise. Let's try this again. Oh, that's weird. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm going to take them off. I put Gons back on the stage, and it was playing my own voice to me. I'm going to tell him that happened. I put you on stage and heard myself. Apologies for this little dip in programming here, folks. I see that there are some people getting out of here. All right. So I'm going to try to I just let him know that, and we'll see if that gives him any clue as to what might be going on. What else is there to say? I'm not exactly even sure. Oh, we had some art to show, but Gons has all the art, so we can't do that. So there you go, folks. Thank you so much to all of our very generous producers. And, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It doesn't take every single producer to produce every single show. The way it works out, if every 30 days or so, you check back in, you say, have I been getting value? Yeah, I have. Let's put some value back in. And again, remember, it's not all about money. You can come in with your time or your talent as well. We have people who have skills, who work in, jobs that are useful. And they say, hey, I got a couple hours a week. Let me help you guys out with something. We even have people who don't have necessarily special skills, but there are an innumerable amount of little things that have to be done on the back end, whether we're keeping track of numbers or updating spreadsheets or, gathering information or intel. We have people who run the things like the Telegram channel, the Discord channel. There's a whole behind the scenes team doing stuff all the time for this community. And, we don't even really know exactly what we need until a producer comes in and says, hey, this is what I know. This is what I can do. Is there a place? And we go, yeah, that's great. And so if you're interested in getting involved that way, of course, you can send us an email at canarycryradio@gmail.com. Or if you go to canarycry.support, you scroll all the way down to the bottom of that page, you'll see a form. You can fill that form out. That just puts you on a spreadsheet and helps us keep track of people reaching out. And of course, your talent. We got musicians. Basically everything you see or hear on this show was created by a producer. 99.9% of all of the front-facing stuff was created by producers just like you. Doesn't matter what your talent is. You could be a graphic designer, a painter, some sort of visual artist, people making sculptures, or maybe you're a musician. You can make jingles, make full songs. This is all contributing to the culture of the show. It's not just about a couple hours every couple days talking about wacky stuff. It's also coming together to build an incredible, unique, and special community that's been going on for about 12, 13 years now. So everybody's got a place, everybody's got a way to get involved, and you should seriously consider it your show. That's what every single one of these producers has done with their time, their talent, or their treasure. They say, this is my show. I'm responsible for it. I'm not going to wait until some corporation comes along and decides what media can survive, what media can't survive, all based on the value that gets brought to the corporation. It's apparently still echoing. Is it still echoing? Or did it just echo for a second? You got to let me know, chat. Yeah, okay. No, I think that was the echo from last time. I'm going to try one more time to check in with Gons. He is not typing to me. He is not doing anything. I'm going to bring him back on stage. We'll see what happens. Check one. It's not echoing. That's a good first step. He is muted. What happens if I unmute him? Nope, I can't unmute him. Well, sure would be cool to know what's going on his side. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to keep going. Gons, give me a sign, buddy. Give me a sign. What do you want me to do? Oh, yeah, I got the echo, but I do hear you. Okay. Okay. Bye. Should I go on to Katy Perry? Okay, let's do this. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to go like this, I'm going to have to present the articles myself. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to share this screen right here. Here it is. Share it. I'm going to bring it up like this. I'm going to make sure this works. Looks like it's going to work. Here we go. So this was actually what I thought to be the least interesting thing that happened. But let's talk about it for a moment because it's starting to build. Starting to build. Clue on Katy Perry's spacesuit. Yes, you heard that right. Clue on Katy Perry's spacesuit sparks claims Blue Origin mission was a satanic ritual. Woo! We're doing it, folks. We're doing it. The mission patch worn by Katy Perry and 5 other women who went to space this week has sparked bizarre conspiracy theories that the space flight was part of a satanic ritual. I don't think you can say it's bizarre anymore. I mean, it's really not. Bizarre is not the right word. And they're reporting on this, obviously, because enough people are under this impression. Enough people have the idea, the inkling that this could be some sort of satanic ritual, that they are actually writing a story about it. That alone shows that there's enough people who think this, that calling it bizarre, I don't think is even correct. But okay. Blue Origin designed the patch with key symbols representing each of the crew members, but conspiracy theories claim the design is the figure of a demonic figure. Brilliant writing, Daily Mail. The figure is of a demonic figure. Baphomet, often depicted as a goat-headed figure with a human body, is frequently associated with the Church of Satan and other occult and pagan traditions. Quote, did you notice the logo on Katy Perry and her fellow Blue Origin space travelers? Travelers' patch is the satanic goat with an upside-down cross if you flip it over. A user shared on X. Others slammed Blue Origin for mocking God, saying this isn't science, it's a ritual. I do find it interesting they're not linking these posts. Usually they'll link or embed these posts. They're just taking
Can
quotes.
you hear me? Can you hear yourself?
I don't hear myself.
Yay. Okay,
Yay.
I think we're back. I don't know what happened there. I don't
know either.
Just got thrown into the portal hole into nothingness. And so I had to reboot everything, and then, that always takes a little bit of time.
Yep.
On the good old trash can, 2013.
Very odd. It is incredible. I will say.
It is very incredible.
I think undeniably, we as a long-standing podcasting community have some extremely unique records. Like, I don't want to go through them all, but as small as we are, but as ambitious as we tend to be, we have broken, I think, lots of weird little records. And I think for a podcast our size, especially for a podcast our size, and one has been going as long as we have, the fact that your computer that you're running the show on is from 2013 is maybe too mind-boggling for science to even comprehend.
We are retro. The kids will love us in 10 years.
That's right. So back to the thing here I was just mentioning. Others slammed Blue Origin for mocking God, saying, this isn't science, it's a ritual. Goat horns, celebs, fake space, another user shared. They ended the post with the Bible verse 2 Corinthians 11:14 that states Satan himself was transformed into an angel of light. While the patch has sparked cries of the occult, Blue Origin's design features a spaceship in the center surrounded by a star, firework, film reel, shooting star, microphone, Flynn and fly, and the scales of justice. Now, Gons, when I first was reading this, I did not hear about this. I did not see this. anything.
Oh, you didn't see Katy Perry walking out, kissing the ground and the whole deal?
I mean, but I didn't see the patch. I wasn't paying attention to the patch.
Sure.
But then in this article, when you scroll down and you get to the actual patch, and look, we've been doing this since 2012. Back when the days of, breaking apart every single tiny bit of symbolism in every logo and every movie and every performance was the bread and butter of our niche, right? Yeah. And look, honestly, sometimes you got to get a little creative to try to see the things. But you look at this patch, if you go down one more picture, Gons, it is blatantly, obviously, explicitly a representation of the Baphomet head. Maybe the most impressive representation of the Baphomet head I have ever seen, at least in a space-based mission patch. And it's hard to really describe to people who are just listening and not viewing, but I'm sure you can find it if you want. Specifically, oh gosh.
Oh, now your side. Now your stuff's falling apart. Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
You're fine. Yes. Okay. Great.
The spaceship depicted does not look like any spaceship involved. It looks like a fake video game spaceship with wings and horns, and you turn it upside down, and it is exactly a Baphomet head. In fact, it is a skull version of the Baphomet head, the spookiest version of a Baphomet head, because you can see down on the nose portion, you see the left and right part of the nose portion are two separate pieces with a gap in the middle. I mean, that is explicitly a skull.
Skeleton. Yeah, skull.
It is a full-on skeletal thing. And then, you look at the orange wigglies around the side, making up the rest of the shape. It's right on par, I think, even for someone who might be jaded by looking for Baphomet in symbolism.
Yeah, they're how a lot of these have streaks that represent like the trail behind the rocket.
Yes.
In this case, if it's upside down, those streaks look like the horns on the logo there. So that's part of the.
And one bit that is often missed on a Baphomet symbolism is the torch on the top of the head between the horns. Oftentimes it's depicted as an actual torch on the head, but it also includes, a piece of like a pentagram in the back. It's just right there, like the piece of the spaceship.
Isn't there? Oh yeah, there's okay. They'd mentioned
which again, a fictional spaceship. This is not a representation of a real spaceship on the thing. It is a fictional spaceship. They could have made it any shape they wanted. And it just happened to be. All right. Anything you want to say? I can read a little bit more of this.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Perry, Bezos' fiance, Lauren Sanchez, and TV presenter Gayle King. I think it's interesting. They called Gayle King TV presenter instead of what she is more famous for, being Oprah's friend.
Yeah.
That's like a whole thing. Gayle. They're so close. She's been talking about her best friend Gayle forever. People thought they were married at one point. Civil rights activist Amanda Nguyen, former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowie, and filmmaker Carrie Ann Flynn all took off from West Texas Monday aboard a Blue Origin rocket. The mission that lasted only 11 minutes took the crew 62 miles above Earth's surface, leaving them in zero gravity for 3 minutes. The women were wearing bodycon space outfits designed by Sanchez. Oh, that's good. I mean, there's a benefit to being...
Of course, this is a fashion statement here. It's
Bezos' girlfriend. Yeah, we have Beast Fashion. We've been following Beast Fashion for quite some time, which is the ever-repeating cycle of spacesuits being designed by or promoted as, some sort of fashion achievement, which, in this business, the commercial rocket business, the fashionable outfits is like a big part of it. So, I mean, can you imagine being Bezos's girlfriend for all the reasons that someone might want to have that experience? The billions of dollars, the et cetera. You just at your any whim, any sort of ADHD hyperfixation at any moment can suddenly become, maybe the most important space suit that anybody's ever designed, at least for a moment.
Most modeling is kind of acting like a beast, but making it fashion. Beast, but then make it fashion.
Here's another user quote here. Again, not embedded, not attributed. Katy Perry going to space with another PSYOP, government-sponsored operation to influence people. Did they add that definition of government-sponsored operation to influence people?
I don't know. It's in a hard bracket there.
It's in hard brackets. Like the authors of this article were like, nobody knows what a PSYOP is. We got to define this for people. I think that's what it was, which I think shows just how disconnected this author is from reality. Yeah. If they don't think every single human knows what a PSYOP is now. They are mocking people at this point. 6 women going to space in air quotes, wearing the Baphomet symbol. One user shared on X. The number 6 is often associated with the devil. Another user claimed that Perry putting her hand over the patch after ringing the bell before the launch was also part of a ritual. Yeah. Well, it explicitly was.
Everything is a ritual, so yes.
Everything is a ritual. She's a pop star. This is what she does. Every concert she does is a ritual. This is nothing new for Katy Perry. Katy Perry swearing her allegiance by placing her hand adoringly and lovingly over her Baphomet logo. They tell you in so many ways who they worship. Yes, and then they got another big picture of Baphomet there. There's the girls. There's the gals. Scroll down a little bit. Look at that. All those boss babes coming down from space. It is a little interesting, too, because the Blue Origin rockets have been criticized for being like way too explicitly, overtly phallic, compared to Virgin Galactic, compared to SpaceX. Jeff Bezos's rocket.
Even SpaceX, too. I mean, Elon has explicitly made those jokes, but then, Jeff Bezos is still...
Jeff Bezos takes the cake by far because this pod, I'll call it, that pops off and floats down is his own very special edition. Now, what I thought was weird, and I'm not going to try to get into this necessarily, why are they in the desert? What pod, re-entry vehicle doesn't land in the ocean? It seems so much more dangerous.
You're right.
What a hard landing to land in the desert on the hard rocks.
Maybe they got help, I got it reminded me of the song E.T. with Katy Perry. Do you remember this song, Basil? L.A. Marzulli made a big deal about it, and I tend to agree. It was a very popular song, very provocative in the sense of mating with an alien. And part of the lyrics there, you're so hypnotizing. Could you be the devil? Could you be an angel? Your touch magnetizing, feels like I'm floating, leaves my body glowing. They say, be afraid. You're not like the others. Futuristic lover, different DNA. They don't understand you. So, yeah, the girl who wrote those lyrics, allegedly, is the one out there with the ritual. Yeah, it makes absolute sense. And
Dark Horse. Dark Horse, the whole video of Dark Horse is an occult sort of goddess worship in ancient Egypt with the jackals and the everybody.
You know who else was part of that song E.T. is Kanye West, now known as Ye.
Kanye?
Mm-hmm. He's part of it, yeah.
I thought it was Lil Jon, but
features Kanye, which is interesting if you think about culturally who are the ones making these big flashy, who Kanye is doing it, and so is Katy Perry apparently.
It is their business. It is their vocation. You got to remember this with all celebrities. Celebrities are celebrities because their vocation is inherently esoteric. It is mass human attention that is collected for occult ritualistic purposes. It is the whole point. It is the currency of the occult is human attention giving power to whatever, sort of result with spell being cast. And so celebrities, by their definition, are are those who are experts in the vocation of harnessing human attention for occult purposes. Now, Daily Mail's here to set it straight. Gons, are you ready for the facts of the matter? Here's the facts.
Oh, boy.
There is no evidence to support claims that the patch was designed to look like Baphomet. Now, this brings up some interesting philosophical things, Gons. This is a very interesting philosophical question we can ask ourselves.
Yes.
If a patch looks like Baphomet to such a specific degree, does it matter if there was no evidence to support the claims that it was designed? I mean, designs are designed.
Self-evident?
Designs are designed. A design doesn't exist without a designer. Somebody has to draw the patch. Mm-hmm. And if the patch looks like Baphomet, then the evidence is it looks like Baphomet, therefore it was designed to look like Baphomet. Blue Origin, however, has shared details about each of the symbols featured in the patch, and this is the most incredibly boring part about it. They have a little diagram. They put a film reel for the filmmaker gal. They have Lauren Sanchez's, Flynn the Fly is a character from Sanchez's best-selling book.
Right, the objects floating in the space area. Right.
Yeah, which is also, I mean, a very occult use of symbol. I mean, that's part of it. It's not part of it. And yeah, they're all their little symbols surrounding the Baphomet head, of course. Now,
they don't address the Baphomet head, actually. They address everything else floating around, which represent each of the women that were on this trip. So it's a patch that was specifically designed for this occasion. Is that what I'm understanding here? This is not like a...
basically. I think this was the official design briefing here. Now it goes into, the patch was not the only item to spark conspiracies, as the butterfly cutout Perry held up while in space.
Project Monarch.
Yeah, she unveiled her lifetime's set list on the butterfly, which some users said was MK Ultra mind control. Actually, it's Project Monarch, but yes, related. MK Ultra was a secret CIA program conducted from 1953 to 1964, which aimed at developing procedures and drugs that could be used during interrogations, weakening individuals and forcing confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. The Monarch butterfly is associated with MK Ultra mind control, but conspiracy theorists claim it symbolizes what? The Monarch butterfly is associated with MK Ultra mind control. That is a statement of fact in this Daily Mail article.
But contrasting with that stated fact.
But, however, Daily Mail says, conspiracy theorists claim it symbolizes transformation, metamorphosis, and fragmentation of the mind. All metaphors they believe align with dissociation and reprogramming in mind control victims. I don't think you made the point you think you're trying to make, Daily Mail. Quote, you can clearly see the butterfly Katy Perry is showing to the camera, an ex-user shared. Quote, it's a symbol linked to Project Monarch. Thank you. An offshoot of MK Ultra, the CIA's secret mind control program created to produce mind-controlled individuals for covert operations. End of article. End of article. It is interesting how they gave the details about MK Ultra going from 1953 to 1964. They then admit the existence of Project Monarch, but they don't give any details about Project Monarch. Perhaps those would be a little too inconvenient to the, lack of storyline they're trying to give. Again, the biggest... Oh, look at me. My keyboard fell and I'm ruining our document. Oh, no.
Is our document ruined?
Yes, I just typed 7,000 M's in our document. But
I see it.
Yeah, this is beautiful. It's mesmerizing. But of course, the fact that it's being presented maybe in one of the most clear ways in the Daily Mail. I didn't actually see a whole lot of attempt to debunk anything necessarily. No. I feel like they actually presented the, maybe not like deep research, but presented these suspicions being posted in a pretty straightforward kind of like non-crummy way, which I think is interesting.
I did notice, first of all, people watching, there are your M's that Basil put on the document.
There's the M's.
I took a picture of the M's.
Thank you.
But you made the point about how none of these X posts are embedded in this article, which is a little weird. Not even screenshots, which is unusual, because that means they don't want to give any reference to the individuals who are making these statements.
Yes, and we know that it's a classic thing to plant their own social media quotables. So if they want something they want to quote, they'll just post it themselves from a burner account and then not link back to it because you just say, oh, it's a crazy X person. So that's a pretty standard presentation and trick.
But
yet they did it in the way they did, which is not that crazy.
Yeah. Well, the other reason could be that they don't want to give any kind of attention to whoever said this type of stuff. They deserve zero attention, literally, which
is hilarious because there's so many people doing it that it's like,
it is hard to sort out, but
you don't even need to know who's doing it because everybody's doing it.
It's true. You're right. But this felt like the bones of a Face Like the Sun art video that I can just put some meat on, I don't need to build the whole structure. It's all there, but they don't do a good job explaining any of it. Really. They mention it.
The only real pushback that they gave, again, is this very kind of almost obligatory, very weak. The only thing they did to really push back was this paragraph. There is no evidence to support claims that the patch was designed to look like Baphomet. And the rest is just like factual reporting. I guess besides calling it bizarre.
Yeah. Well, such are the times.
All right. We got to keep an eye out for the next pandemic, Gons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. We're moving on. I did not
Very
realize.
important.
Yeah. Yes. Pandemic. Another one that we can all get excited about. What are we doing? Pandemic special.
A pandemic special.
All right. This was fun. This was fun.
Keeping an eye out. So there's some very important things. We know Project 201. We know these tabletop simulations that are run often for pandemics. We always want to keep an eye out. Event 201. We want to keep an eye out for these things because as we've learned through history, it is pretty beneficial to do so. This is being reported on the telegraph.co.uk. This is the Euro part of the show. The second half is Euro news. The headline is WHO, the WHO, tests pandemic response with Arctic mammoth pox outbreak. Dun, dun, dun. And you look at this image that they put at the top here. Is this AI? Is this an AI image that they created? Or is this a real image?
I thought it was a scene from Star Wars is what
it looks. Yeah, not only is it
Empire
an AI,
Strikes Back.
Yeah, an AI image, but they'll take AI to make it look like an old 70s movie where they found a mammoth or whatever. Here it is. A digital illustration of the paleontological dig that sparked the fictional mammoth pox outbreak in the WHO's pandemic preparedness exercise. So here we go. They're running a simulation, folks. The outbreak began when a team of scientists and documentary filmmakers excavated the remains of a woolly mammoth in the frozen Arctic tundra, which has happened and continues to happen. Within weeks, ICUs were overwhelmed and health systems were struggling to cope. Some countries introduced contact tracing and enforced quarantines, while others took a more laissez-faire approach and saw the uncontrolled spread of a dangerous new disease. I love how the laissez-faire approach, in this case, in their simulation, against factual evidence, the laissez-faire approach had uncontrolled spread. Whereas when Sweden, during COVID, took the laissez-faire approach, had the best numbers on controlling the spread. So they're right off the bat their simulation is against known facts.
Bad presets. Got to go back into the presets, redo some of that.
This is the all too familiar scenario that ministers from 15 countries around the world were faced with last week when they gathered to test their readiness for the next pandemic. Okay, so they're training these ministers on faulty simulations. Perfect. The desktop exercise, led from the World Health Organization's headquarters in Geneva, was overseen by Dr. Mike Ryan, the no-nonsense director of the agency's health emergency program. No nonsense.
Is he on brand with the Trump whole regime here? Is he MAGA?
Sure, yeah.
At this point.
It's simulated. No, the WHO's fighting back, man. That's the depths of the deep state. It's simulated an outbreak of mammoth pox, a deadly but fictional virus from the orthopox family. Similar to smallpox, which killed an estimated 500 million people in the century before it was eradicated in the 1980s, and Mpox, a dangerous variant of which is currently surging across Central Africa. It's called monkeypox. The exercise document obtained by the Telegraph give a rare insight into how the WHO and its member states might react and coordinate in the event of a new pandemic. Yeah. You mean like tyrannical controls over people's ability to move freely, tyrannical controls over the freedom of speech online. It says right there, actually, Gons, I'm looking at the table of contents in the document obtained from the WHO. It says right here, step 2, ban Canary Cry and all of their channels from YouTube over and over and over again, and make sure that they never recover. Thank you. WHO. While the disease depicted was fictitious, the exercise was based on real science and imagines a paleontological dig for mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, and other extinct creatures held in the permafrost going horribly wrong. Quote, scientific research has demonstrated that ancient viruses can remain viable in permafrost for thousands of years, says the WHO briefing document. Quote, the thawing of permafrost due to climate change has raised concerns about potential release of pathogens previously unknown to modern medicine. Now, Gons, in our long and storied career, we have covered multiple stories about recovering ancient viruses from permafrost and from things like mammoths. This is something that happens fairly often. In fact, a little known connection during COVID was the dirt sample that they found. It was a dirt sample from Antarctica. And I believe it happened in Georgia, in a Georgian, some of these details I'm happy to be corrected on, but from memory, I believe it was a biolab in Georgia, America, the state of Georgia, found COVID or COVID-like virus in dirt samples from Antarctica, right around, the
was it
year.
Was it like some ice? Was it dirt or was it ice? Like deep ice core?
It was permafrost. It was like
okay.
It was something like that.
Trying to find it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm going off the top of my head. This was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe less. The virus was potentially lethal and fast-moving, participating health officials were told. Oh. Quote, mammoth pox disease is severe with a mortality intermediate between mpox and smallpox, says the papers. And it goes on and on and on and on and tells us how... You found it?
Oh, I think so. Scientists have revived a zombie virus that spent 48,500 years frozen in permafrost, March 8th, 2023. It's about the Arctic permafrost. Let's see if it actually...
Yeah, they found some viruses.
Like a zombie virus, yes.
It could be another one, could be the same one, could be another one. But this happens all the time. That's kind of the point here.
Right.
So again, it kind of goes to the gain of function research. Like, should we just be digging up ancient viruses? I mean, this has maybe happened 2 or 3 times at least in the past few
I do
years.
recall. Yes, I recall because and whenever we saw a story, come across our desk of this nature, it was always, oh yeah, we covered that. So I remember covering it at least 1 or 2 times. But yeah, and then of course people recognize the woolly mammoth. Perhaps they chose the woolly mammoth precisely because of the current
yes,
endeavors.
That's the op. That's the op here. It's so specific. The op is this because we just were given the news recently from Live Science. Oldest known North American woolly mammoth revealed in long lost ancient DNA. Woo! And I believe it was Colossal Sciences, the ones who just brought back the dire wolf, Colossal Bioscience or whatever, bred, genetically engineered a mouse with some mammoth DNA. So everybody's got mammoth on the brain.
It's that was the fuzzy mouse that had the mammoth kind of hair, right? I think we did it a few episodes ago. Yeah.
Yes, right. Let me see if I can find a picture of this mammoth mouse.
What could go wrong? Hey, welcome to the dystopia,
Right. So it's
COVID
combining, so like a lot of what we do here and what inevitably pays off for our community, which, is having a broad range, a broad view of all these different categories of news, right? That's why we're not just a political show, why we're not just a science show, why we're not just a whatever. But when you take a broad view, again, kind of like the story of either Alex Jones or Bill Cooper, whoever did it, was asked, how'd you see 9/11 coming? And they just say, we read the news. In the same way, you look here, the hype about the woolly mammoth mouse, which is explicitly, plus the dire wolf, which was a little bit more famous of a story, but the idea of bringing back extinct things, and then specifically in this case, a mammoth. They are trying, and they continue to try to actually bring a mammoth back as well. But then you mix in the WHO Event 201 precursors to pandemic preparedness. It's just got all the ingredients for like a nice, solid psyop. And it's important to put these things on the record because, people would have thought that Event 201 was simply a simulation exercise, had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah,
until it did.
And that's the same way that everything played out with COVID, just as you mentioned there. It's very similar to various charts, I believe. If you've looked at stock charts, like the Amazon chart or something, there's a lot of volatility, a lot of up and down early on. But then a few years later, you look back and they're just little tiny bumps on the chart, if you know what I mean, in the price movement. I have a chart for people that are looking at the screen here. What seemed like crazy ups and downs several years ago are just little bumps in the chart as time goes on. We get higher and higher. And in that similar nature, we're going to look back at COVID and it's just going to be this little thing. It was like, oh yeah, it happened. But the world is so crazy now that it seemed like more peaceful times. COVID, remember that? We all had to stay at home. Like we're going to look back on it in this fond way. And that's only going to happen as the world gets crazier. It's a matter of perspective. So I think shows like ours, we're the only ones that are really, not only, but we're out here trying to prepare everybody's hearts and minds for those changes and trying to stay grounded throughout all of it. Because even for me, Basil, this is crazy. I wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this is all happening exactly how we were looking at it. And that's not a good thing because it's not something that we were stoked about talking about necessarily. It got us going and stuff, but we didn't necessarily want to see some kind of crazy genetic mutation, world empire, antichrist stuff, we know what it means.
Scarier and scarier every year as predictions continue.
It's a little.
The wilder the prediction, the scarier it is when it comes true. Can you imagine at the next pandemic? Because of course they're going to give it a go again, and you like to think that they'll be like, oh, we can't lock people down again. They're not going to have that.
They'll just go up into spaceships. They'll get Bezos' little rocket there, and they'll.
I think that's a little. I think it's a little
what's the word? I don't know. Not ignorant, but Pollyanna. It's a little Pollyanna to think that they wouldn't try to do lockdowns again just because maybe us or people we know wouldn't comply with something like that. However, can you imagine with how hyped up the regular normies were about quarantine and stuff? Now your neighborhood can pay, $100 a month each and have your neighborhood patrolled with drones and robots.
Yeah.
So when there's a quarantine, you
That's
have
true.
your own, you've built your own prison. You pay
fortress.
the bills.
Yeah,
you pay the bills to
It's
pay
true. You don't want our help? Independent citizens? Fine. Do it yourself.
We'll build our own prisons where we will be paying. Now, I'm not going to pay for this, but you can imagine a neighborhood who comes together, say, oh my gosh, the world is dangerous. Let's get together, have this robot patrol. We'll have these guys. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Now you've locked your own self in your own house and paid for your own prison guards to roam the street. Because of course they'll report you or something if the robot sees you walking outside your house. We like to think that it couldn't happen again. And I'm not saying it will necessarily happen in the exact same way. But remember, it took 3 years in Trump's first term for them to roll out the big one on the last year of his presidency. We still got a couple years until we come to what the next election year when the next disaster has to take place. And even if now of course there's the if Trump is going to go for a third term, which who even knows if things keep going in this crazy direction, who knows? But even if it's, JD Vance or something, they'll come back. They're going to come back with a vengeance to try to seize power.
Here's an insidious idea, which I'm just kind of putting together in my head here. And I know people have probably speculated this type of thing. But what if COVID was truly a test, in a sense, from the social engineers, the people that kind of have a little more access to things, and they basically tested the world at their level of compliance given in the face of a threat like a disease. And it was a test because truly it wasn't about the virus. It was more about an oncoming, maybe like some kind of world-ending type of event. People have talked about pole shifts or some kind. We're going to go through some kind of some massive geological changes that really disrupts everything, and that's why the elite are building bunkers and doing all this kind of stuff. Trying to get into space. Maybe that's part of it is, hey, we're going to suspend ourselves while everything's kind of going down on Earth. And it was like, hey, who's willing to comply? Well, no one really wanted to comply. So now they're like, fine, you guys figured out on your own, the elites or whatever, we'll do our thing. We got access to whatever. And so I don't know, could that be it? Where it's like, all right, test the world. Okay. The world didn't want to go with, they did for a little while, but over time they did not want to go with the us, basically, the people behind the scenes. So you're on your own on this real emergency, like this actual thing that's going to go down that'll really be disruptive. I don't know. Am I thinking too insidiously? Is
whatever they can do to seize whatever it takes to seize control.
Yeah, well, it's got to be a spiritual problem, right? It's not whoever it is behind the scenes there. It is a spiritual problem. And it would make sense if they're not fully human. You know what I mean? At this point, the way things are going with all the genetic stuff, it's kind of like, I don't know, man. They've already probably got some crazy hybrid folk calling the shots.
They got to come out. Yeah, they got to come out with the aliens. The disclosure happens. They've been with us this whole time.
Great distraction.
Yeah, they've been protecting us. It's got everything there. It's got everything. Yeah. Well, before we close down, Guns, I have some good news to announce.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Some more good news. We've had a number of good news.
I do want to thank some people for their art. The art.
Well, let me do this first. I just want to mention that we have been reinstated on the old Canary Cry Radio YouTube channel.
Hey.
The appeal has gone through. So I know it's crazy. You're sitting here on our third YouTube channel, our third or fourth. So welcome. This is for the real ones, the real go-getters are here with us. Thankfully, we got the Face Like the Sun channel back, which will be warming up here soon. And now we got the other Canary Cry Radio. We have so many channels now, which God bless. I'm very happy about that. We're going to be figuring out what to do with it. But if y'all are not following all of our channels, you should go follow that one, because I'm sure there has to be kind of an enormous group of our current active viewers who are not also subscribed to our old one. So I think, what do you think? Are we going to be able to put this into a show notes? Could we do show notes link or something?
Yeah,
I'll
probably.
put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat right now. So anybody in the chat now, go follow this channel if you haven't already. I will be pasting it in. But that's very fun. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen with it yet, but be subscribed to that one. It's at least a great opportunity to have our main channel is now our backup channel, and our backup channel was now our main channel. I don't know. It's crazy.
Might be time to create a spot on the website where people can just congregate and start there,
Yeah. Oh, we're on it.
Yeah.
We are on it,
Mhm.
but not yet. Not yet.
Okay. All right. Okay, we got some people to thank for their artwork. Apologies to the artists. We did not get to them on Monday. But if you'd like to help us build the culture behind the community here at Canary Cry, you can go to canarycry.art and supply us with your art, and we will share it on the show. And I encourage people to use these in your own social media feed if you have them, or, friend group text with your friends and family. Will always be a good option. So if you get the email, that's where you get them, right, Basil? You gotta sign up to the newsletter to get these directly into the email, or you can just right-click save and keep it on your phone.
Yeah, sorry. What are we talking about? We're talking about memes?
Yeah, the memes.
Yeah. They're in the emails.
Yeah, okay. All right. First up, I'm going to thank Little Owen for his track, because he came in with a song here. He said, "How many sins have you been forgiven from in Christ?" Luke 7:46 through 47 KJV. "But this woman hath anointed my feet with ointment. Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins, which are many, are forgiven. For she loved much, but to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little." Oh, okay. Well, it says, don't read this part on show. Okay.
Conzo.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. I was going to play the whole thing at the end, if you don't mind, rather than playing a small clip now. Is that okay, Basil?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm talking about Little Owen's track that he sent us.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Well,
Okay,
yeah, whatever you want.
Yep. Just to save some time.
We
here,
have
but
another.
yes.
We have another song on the mixtape too. We've got two mixtape
there's a lot of
songs.
Actually, I think there's 3. Technically, there's 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So there we go. Thank you very much, Little Owen. Appreciate you. As always. Oh, this jingle board's not working. All right. Good to know. Not everything is up and running again. All right. Dame Sarah. Thank you, Dame Sarah. She came in with some memes, and she said in a note, "Fun with Democratic protesters. I hope I got the American accent semi-right." Oh, no, that's not the right one. That's Marty K's note. No, Dame Sarah said, these spreadsheets are confusing me. Dame Sarah said, "Had some fun this morning finishing the last podcast and drinking amazing cage-rattling coffee." Thank you very much. And you want to describe these memes, Basil? I got 3 of them.
Yeah, this is the Drake top and bottom meme, where the top one is Drake saying, "No, I don't like that." And the bottom one is, "Yeah, Drake likes it." The top one is live stream. Drake is not interested in the live stream, but he does love waiting for the podcast to come out. He's a big fan of that.
Boom.
What's up, podcast listeners?
Yeah, that was a shout out to the podcast listeners. Then we
Now
got a
we've got
Fry from
did I
Futurama
freeze?
holding the cash. And
Yep.
the cash says, "Cage Rattler Coffee." want to give us cash. We take cash. They take cash. We don't take anything. Are you still there, Basil?
There we go. No, I froze for a long time.
Okay, yeah. You were stuck in some kind of frozen Han Solo cryo state.
I don't know where.
Yeah.
This is Fry from Futurama holding up all his money. Take my money. And it's for Cage Rattler Coffee. Go to CageRattlerCoffee.com, folks. Go get it. I forgot what this kid's name is. It's like Motivation Kid or something.
Right.
Motivation Baby says, keep calm and listen to the live stream. Have breaking news again. Do it.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Motivation
it.
Kid.
Motivation Kid. Dame Sarah. Dame Sarah sent in a couple more. We'll save those for Monday. Okay. So now let's go to Marty K here. Sir Marty K, thank you very much. Fun with Democratic protesters. I hope I got the American accent semi-right. And if you don't know what the word Doge means, there is a fun fact at the end. Here we go. You ready, Basil?
Sure. Did you listen to this?
I did. Yeah, I think I played this. I think it's fine.
Ticker Jibs! Ticker Jibs!
Hundreds and hundreds of people have come out on Saturday afternoon to protest President Trump and Elon Musk, chanting, "Hands off our democracy."
What about you? Are you gonna stand up and stand firm against fascism? Or you just gonna sit down and shut up against fascism?
I think that's...
Is the video and the audio not synced?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know either. What does that Google search for?
The Doge title. It's the word Doge comes from Venetian Italian. And like its standard Italian cognate, deuce, as in Mussolini's title.
Okay.
Second deuce. Is that right? Am I saying that right? Deuce, or is it something else? Is it Ducci or something?
I can't see it.
Is derived from the Latin dux or dux, meaning either spiritual leader or military commander. So there you go. Doge means spiritual leader / military commander, which that makes about that.
I could see that being a bonus etymology for Doge folks.
Now was that Marty K? Was that Sir Marty K doing his American accent on that? Was that what I was hearing?
Sounds like maybe that's what that was.
We need some clearer audio, Sir Marty K.
For the listening audience, I don't even know how to explain what just happened, but it was a combination of, watching Elon with a chainsaw and some like pro-Doge Trump imagery, and then it moved into a bunch of the hands-off protests. So I'm sure there is a very powerful message in there, and may God continue to use you for his glory, Sir Marty. Haven't actually seen Sir Marty in a while. I think he might be taking a little break. I think the Doge or the tariffs or the Trump stuff may have been a little bit. It was starting to get to him. You could tell that it was starting to get a little bit under his skin. So hopefully he's taking a little bit of a break and feeling better.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Anyway, Marty K, Sir Marty K, we got another one from you. We'll save that for Monday. We have something from Modern Day Bible Study. Again, it's a track. It's a 2-minute song. We will play it at the end of the show. Thank you very much, Modern Day Bible Study. The note here, fear the Lord and all shall be revealed. Thank you very much. And lastly, I have a piece of audio that I need to play for all of the people. And this might be an issue if my 13-year-old computer does not respond, and it's not responding. So let me try it over here.
Is this from Sir Ike?
It's from the Russian Handler.
Oh, it's from the Russian Handler. Oh,
yes.
Supply droppers, listen up. If you received last quarter's supply drop, you got a top secret card. They're on a top secret mission. You got to keep an ear out for the top secret code coming through from the one, the only, the actual Russian
Attention
handler.
supply droppers.
It's not stopping. Sorry.
It's going.
This is your Russian handler. Remember, the quote is the key. Your second message is 219-4173.
Oh,
there it is. It's so short and abrupt.
21971. Oh no, I got them all wrong.
Oh no, you're confusing the people.
You're gonna have to go back and get it. We need you supply droppers to be getting these codes and writing them down, because the problem is that if nobody solves the mission, then I'm told that Sir Ike gets sent to a Siberian work camp, and we need him.
Not a good thing.
He's a very important part of this community, and if he gets sent to the work camp, weird stuff happens to people at the work camp. So thank you very much to all of our supply droppers. Go to GeneticRyeSupplyDrop.com and save Sir Ike, please.
Save Sir Ike. I believe there was one more thing in an email you told me about, Basil. Let me double check that one.
You're talking about the song?
The song, yes.
Yeah, we got a Nephilim Hunter song.
Yes.
That came in from Jimmy, I believe. Oh, no, I got away from my...
Jimmy M.
Yeah. Well,
Sir Jimmy.
he has a night name there.
Sir Jimmy M. Knight of the slinging paintbrush and sprayer thingy.
Yeah, you want to read his message?
Yeah, it says here, thought this was a neat song AI did for Nephilim hunters who like coffee set to Dome 90s alt rock. Love the Peru dark roast. Keep up the good work in all aspects. Your brother in Christ, Sir Jimmy M.
Thank you very much, Sir Jimmy. And yes, of course, he's talking about CageRattlerCoffee.com. Go get it. He loves the Peru dark roast. That's a point in the column for the Peru dark roast. Thank you, Sir Jimmy. We'll play that. The Canary Cry mixtape. It's quite the Canary Cry mixtape at the end of today's show. That's very fun.
Big lineup. Yeah, that's why I wanted to kind of save it all for the end for everybody.
Yep.
So.
Well, we better do that then. We better get on it. So thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to come back. Remember, go follow the old Canary Cry radio account. It's I think the link is youtube.com/user/Canary Cry radio, and you'll see our old blue logo there for the other show. Go follow that. Something will start happening there. Appreciate that. Of course, you can support the show by going to canarycry.support. And what was the other one? CageRattlerCoffee.com. Yeah, go do all those things. And thank you to all of our producers. These are people who are taking responsibility for what exists in the world, not letting corporate incentives decide that for them. They are generous, they are powerful, and we pray that God blesses them. And of course, that goes for our talent producers too, creating art, creating music, which you'll hear a lot of in a second here, but also to the producers who help us out with their time. Yes, the time producers, like the Clippies.
Clippy on those videos. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, Clipping. I've been a Clippy lately. I've been
having fun
being a Clippy.
Thank you. Yeah.
Keep an eye out for shorts coming out on the YouTube channel, or
shorts.
Go follow us on the Instagram. Search Canary Cry News Talk on Instagram. We got fun stuff going on over there.
Sounds so
thank you.
modern. Plugged
we
in.
are
Instagram.
so modern. Yes, says the 41-year-old dad. So modern having an Instagram. The sad part is that Instagram is going the way of Facebook.
Yeah. Well,
Facebook kind of
became.
Facebook became like the old people's one. And now Instagram is kind of being considered that as well. But it's okay. It's our home. Thank you to the timestampers.
I have a spinning wheel of rainbow colors waiting for the timestamp jingle to play.
Who did the timestamps?
I believe I'm pulling it up here. Morgan E. Thank you very much, Morgan E.
Thank you very much, Morgan E. Thank you to Jam for moderating the Telegram channel. Thank you to Adam42 for the Discord channel. Also, thanks to our soon-to-be new knight, Psalm 40 is a mod on the Discord channel as well. You can find links to the Discord and the Telegram, either of those things. If that's your jam, go to canarycry.party. You'll find the invite links there. Thank you to Joe for the feedback, and thank you to Clank for clanking around, doing all the clanky stuff you do, Clank. And remember, folks, don't share the show. Don't share with anybody. This is a secret, exclusive club, even more exclusive. I mean, it says something that we are maintaining exclusivity when Club 33 in Disneyland is opening it up to the public. So this is a very special place. Only the smartest, best looking, most observant, important insiders on the planet are allowed to listen to this show. And that's you. And, you know, I don't know, even if you think somebody is capable and good looking enough and smart enough and, you know, insightful enough to even comprehend or understand or perhaps even gain anything from this show, I would really think twice before sharing the show with anybody, okay? So just keep it secret, keep it safe. We do call that rattling cages, though, and all you got to do is walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve. And if they don't? Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gons, you got any last words?
Apologies for the technical difficulties, but we podcast another day.
We made it through. That's right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for producing the show. What did I have to say at the end here? I feel like I had something to say and I forgot. I don't know. Go follow the old channel. Oh, no. It was just in my brain, and I looked at something else. I look away for 1 second. So, anyways, there you go. Canary Cry Clubhouse tomorrow, Thursday. Oh, yeah. So tune in there. It's a call-in show. So call in, say hi. Let's have some time, some non-news related time tomorrow, where we'll also be checking out Gonza's new Beyond the Verse. So
you're hearing the computer really struggle right now.
Yeah, is that your computer dying? All right, we better end the show. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
The earth, faint light begins to crawl. Shadows dance on jagged cliffs, the warning still stands tall. Searching for the fallen ones who mock the maker's hand. Coffee brews in battered pots, salvation's grainy sand. We hunt through night, we thirst for the dawn. Tethered to sins, the past drags along. Coffee's bitter like the truth we chase. Fuel for the fire or smoke in our face. Tattooed wings on leathered backs, fangs that crave demise. We sift through wreckage of their pride beneath the ash-stained skies. Black as the brew that fuels our souls, their lives will not remain. The hunter's creed whispered through steam, grinding down the pain. We hunt through night, we thirst for the dawn. Tethered to sins, the past drags along. Coffee's bitter like the truth we chase. Fuel smoke in our face. Eyes like embers, blistering through frost. Every drop of black fuel counts the cost. High caffeine hymns sung under the moon. Monsters bleed dark, wake justice soon. Rusted steel in morning fog, trailing through the dark. Nephilim crumble with each shot left, justice leaves no mark. The coffee burns, the cup chips wide, grinds relentless storm. Regret and rage drip drop collide, both hunter and their farm.
rage within me, and the terrors of death overwhelm me. Fear and trembling come upon me, and shuddering grips me. I keep saying, if only I had wings like a dove, I would fly away and reside in safety. Look, I would flee far away. I would lodge in the wilderness. I would hurry to a place of shelter, away from the raging wind, away from the storm. Confuse them, O God, and frustrate their plans. For I have seen violence and conflict in the city. Day and night, they walk around on its walls. Within it are malice and trouble. Ruin is in its midst. Oppression and deception never depart from its public square. For it is not an enemy who taunts me. Otherwise, I could put up with it. It is not a foe who has risen up against me. Otherwise, I could conceal myself from him. But it is you, flesh like me, my own companion, whom I know well. We used to enjoy a warm friendship together. Into the house of God we used to walk along with the multitude. May destruction overtake them. Let them go down alive into the grave, for evil resides among them and within them. As for me, I will call out to God, and God will save me. Evening, morning, and noontime I am troubled and I groan, and he hears my voice. He will rescue me and give me peace from those fighting against me, for multitudes come against me. God will hear and respond to them, the one who sits enthroned from of old. They will refuse to change, those who have not feared God. Psalms 55, verse 4 through 19. Amen.
We only exist because of producers just like you who get value from the show and they put value back in with their time, their talent, or their treasure. There's lots of ways to do it. Whatever works for you, whatever works for you, whatever talent or their treasure.
Take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Gunman.